아, 중국 수업 제가 한 거는 그때 테스트 한번 한 거고 옆에서 동시 통역을 했어요. 중국 분이 누가 물어봤어. 이거 근데 지금 이걸로 보면 힘들고요. 유튜브 가서 보세요. 유튜브에 지금 저렇게 생중계가 되고 있습니다, 여러분. 유튜브에서 보세요. 저는 방송을 끊을 거예요.
네. 보인 아니구나.
All right, let's do this. Aha. Let's do this. Man, I lost so many subscribers because of my live streaming thumbnails. I thought they're funny. They are funny. It's funny to me. All right, what should I watch?
To be lucky, I succeeded. The bitter end, or any of those places.
Oh.
If he would look at me.
What did you expect?
It's such a,
oh no!
Such
Let me vomit my love for you right away. Get it off the table. You know, from the beginning with the stand-up through the early movies, the middle movies, the late movies, the New Yorker pieces, the book.
Were you part of the New York comics group, the bitter end, or any of those places?
Oh no!
Okay?
I was 5 when that was happening. I mean, I started in the '80s. It was the Improv, the Catch a Rising Star. Do you remember that place?
In New York, though.
Yeah.
Are you from New York?
New Jersey.
Ah, okay. So you played those same clubs in Manhattan?
Yeah, that was my era. Was you know the Improv down on 44th and 9th. That started in like '62. That was the earliest one. That was the granddaddy of them all. But by the '80s, it had become a thing, and by the late '80s, it was a phenomenon. Mid-sized cities had 5 comedy clubs.
Right.
You know, and it just burnt itself out after a while. It wasn't like, I mean, when you started, it was just the bitter end. There was a few clubs and only a few comics. When you started, there was like maybe one new comic every few years. When I was doing it in the '80s, like their dentists were doing comedy.
Right.
It was just terrible.
Right. Did you play Dangerfields?
I lived nearby it in someone's closet, basically. I lived in the maid's room. Yeah, I had a rent-free situation. Don't even ask. But yeah, Dangerfields. I didn't play it because that was I was too new, and that was a headliner club. I wasn't a headliner yet.
So when you came out here, did you play the Troubadour?
No, that was, I don't remember comics ever playing the Troubadour. I remember comics getting in trouble for being in the audience at the Troubadour. I don't know. That was like, oh, you know, maybe the Smothers Brothers did play there.
Yeah, I think I played the Troubadour.
Okay. Well, back then there were, now it's just music, I think. I've never heard of a comic at the Troubadour. But
I played that other place in Hollywood. It was an upstairs and a downstairs.
what year?
The year that Kennedy was assassinated. Because I was playing there when the day that Kennedy was assassinated.
You said like when you won your Oscar, you had the same reaction as you did when Kennedy was assassinated. I thought about it for a minute, and then I went back to work.
Yes, that's the guy. I was writing
That's
the
weird.
script of What's New Pussycat. I was in a motel, like the Gene Autry Motel, and I was playing the place. The crescendo was upstairs, or the crescendo was downstairs, and there was a place upstairs.
But why don't these things affect you more? To most people, they're earth-shaking.
I was too stupid to grasp what happened. I was there, and someone said, it was the operator on the phone, and she said, Mr. Allen, the president's been shot. And I said, oh, yeah, and I turned on the television. I looked for a minute or two, realized I couldn't do anything about it, and then, and that
Well,
was
that
it.
is true. But okay, let me challenge you on this. You say in this book, you have no lofty thoughts.
I've no what?
And you say, I have no lofty thoughts.
No, right.
But you can't really believe that.
No, I don't have any love. I've
Okay.
often said I'm mistaken for an intellectual.
This is what I have to challenge.
What is-
Because, answer me this then. If you have no lofty thoughts, why didn't you just keep making the silly kind of movies you made at the beginning that were just gags? I grant you, there are no lofty thoughts in Bananas. There's no lofty thoughts in Take the Money and Run. But then you did Interiors and movies that were like almost all lofty thoughts.
But I was riddled with ambition to be a serious filmmaker. But I had nothing to contribute in terms of insights
You know-
or
You know why that is? Because there are no lofty thoughts. No, there's one. There's one lofty thought, I think.
You have it?
You do too. It's your theme too. It's the quote I always think that encapsulates it. I think it's from Eugene O'Neill, but it may be not, or maybe somebody talking about Eugene O'Neill, or it could be Zoopy Sales. I don't remember. But the quote is a great quote. A life with illusions is unpardonable, and a life without illusions is unbearable.
Yes, I agree with that.
That's a big theme of yours.
It's a big thing because you do have to, you've got to delude yourself to get through. It's life is a terrible, painful, awful, tragic thing, and you've got to. My solution to it was the coward's way out, to distract yourself. There are people that embrace life, and they confront it, and they have all kinds of mature, perspectives on it. But I don't. To me, I avoid it. I watch baseball. I watch sports. I watch movies.
But that's not relevant. In the movies themselves, there are lofty thoughts, or at least, again, maybe this.
Then
maybe,
I've heard them somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we all have, and then we confront them in our own life, and that's really the one I see over and over again about illusions. And there's only so many ways to say that, and everything is just, to me, a variation, if it's lofty, on that theme, said in an entertaining way. You say it in an entertaining way. You're a very entertaining fellow.
So, how do you deal with it? I mean, are you conscious that you are deluding yourself, or do you want to delude yourself, or?
But isn't that the theme that again you and all of us to a degree are exploring? Is like, it's the dichotomy, it's the paradox we will never figure out.
No, you'll never figure it out.
That's why the quote is good. A life with them is bad, and a life without them is bad in a different way.
Yeah, so all you can do is kind of push it out of your mind and, distract yourself.
You know the novelist John Irving, he wrote World
Yeah,
According.
I know of him. I
Yeah, me
read his
too.
books.
Me neither. Okay. But I see all his Robin Williams movies. He said every great novel would have better been called Great Expectations. He said every novelist wishes that title was still available, because life, great expectations,
Yes, whenever you sit down to write a novel or to make a movie or to embark on some kind of artistic thing, you always, or at least I always expect that it's going to be great. I always, when I sit down to make a movie, I think I'm going to make Citizen Kane, and this, when people see this, they'll be stunned. And then when I finally finish shooting it, I'm in the editing room. I'm praying that I won't be embarrassed, and I'm ready. I'll change anything. I'll put the end in the beginning. I'll put narration into it. I'll do anything, and all your great expectations go out the window. When you
I was talking more about the character's great expectations. Yours, I get that's what any filmmaker does. I think what you did early in your career was set down this marker that I can't be embarrassed because I'm an artist, I'm gonna fail sometimes, and that's what's gonna make you like me more. I think that's what you did, or possibly not by choice, it's just how you followed that idea. You're not gonna let anybody tell you what to do, how to do it. You were either God in your universe.
Right, that's true. You have to do it yourself because it doesn't work any other way. But you have to accept the fact that you're going to fail a certain amount of times.
Yeah.
The problem is if you're in an art form, if you're a writer at home and you fail, you throw the paper away and you start over. If you're a filmmaker, you have to constantly raise 15, 20, 30 million dollars or something. And then if you're an architect or a filmmaker, you've got to raise a fortune to ply your trade. And so it gets dicey. You can't afford, you're resigned to the fact that you will fail, but you can't afford to fail too much because then you can't get any more money.
Yeah. I read in the book that you were talking about going to therapy and said something like, you're waiting for the Godot that never comes.
Yes, that's when I started.
Which to me is great expectations.
Yeah.
Everything is just.
You wait.
Which I know you've never read because you say also in your unconvincing defense of how you're not an intellectual, you say, that you never read Great Expectations, you never read Ulysses, you never read 1984, Catch-22, Don Quixote, you mentioned.
That's right, I've never read any of the ones you've just mentioned.
I've read them all. You want to get the skinny on them? You want to get the...
Yeah, can you condense them?
Well, like Dickens, 1850. I mean, for the time, but it's asking a lot of 1850 to be relevant today. And also, he was writing them on installment, Dickens. They would be knocking on the door because it had to go in the paper. That's how that book was written.
That's how Dostoevsky wrote, too, for the money and bit by bit and, But I never had the patience to read any of them. I was never a reader. I never enjoyed reading as a kid. It was not something I liked to do, and to this day, I don't enjoy it. I've done it to a certain amount because you needed to do it to survive and to flourish as a writer, but it's not...
I bet you'd like Catch-22. The other ones, yeah...
I might. I read Catcher in the Rye, and I like that.
Short.
I thought that was...
It's good when they're short.
That was... Yeah.
I mean, you also say, I thought this was crazy, it was on the last page, that your big regret is you say you think you never made a great movie.
That's right. I think I've made...
Really? Come on.
Remember, I've made 50 movies. I wrote and directed 50 movies. Some of them I do think are good. More than half of them are not, but I do think some of them are good. But I never made... If you think a great movie is Rashomon or The Bicycle Thief or The Seventh Seal or...
See, I've never seen those, just like you've never read the books.
Now, why haven't you seen them much?
Because I'm just the young man in the 22nd row. I like these art house movies that you like. I mean, you're right. I haven't tested them enough.
you'd enjoy them though. But the thing
You don't
about
know.
them is they're not homework. They're entertaining.
Okay.
They're actually gripping and entertaining.
But I've heard people say that about other things that did not grip or entertain me.
It's
Again,
interesting.
yeah, but like, okay, I usually prepare nothing for this show. I think that's obvious. But
I
I
would've
did
thought-
want to ask you
Okay.
about movies because your taste in movies. Like, I would not want to know if you've seen any of these movies. Like, these are not the art house foreign director movies. These are like the ones that the common people love. But, you know, they're big, like Godfather. You
I
see,
saw Godfather 2. I thought was great. The period work. I
right?
thought it was absolutely great. The period work in Godfather 2, I did think was great.
Other than that, not really much.
Oh,
But,
well, no. I mean, I thought they were good pictures, definitely.
Oh.
But the period work in Godfather 2 was great filmmaking.
did you see Enora?
No, I haven't. But
What do
my
you-
wife Sunyi saw it and loved it.
Oh.
I have not seen
You had no interest?
it.
Hooker with a heart of
yeah, I
gold.
have marginal interest, but no, and that doesn't reflect on the film.
Oh, I know.
It reflects on my own, smallness. I mean,
It doesn't make you small.
I'm sure.
I reject that theory that people are small because they don't like a certain thing. You're
No, it's not that I
entitled
don't
to
like it.
I know, but we're all entitled to enjoy what we want and enjoy our lives the way
But
we
I might
want.
enjoy it. But
Right.
I don't give it a
I'm just
chance.
saying,
because I don't have.
You don't have to apologize for not watching Enora, and
Jesus,
I
let
don't
him
apologize
talk.
for not watching
I
the
didn't
bicycle
see it.
thing.
It's not that I didn't like it.
I know.
I just haven't seen it. I might
Exactly,
love it if I saw
and that's
it.
okay. It's okay.
Okay.
And it's okay. I don't watch The Bicycle Thief. Although
I
you're.
can't figure out why though. Because
What's it about?
Bicycle is stolen, and the picture is trying to retrieve it, and it's very crucial for
Are you sure this is not Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Because I think that's the same plot.
I didn't see that. No,
I didn't see that one either.
either.
Okay, James Bond movies. You,
No, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
but you wrote one that was a James Bond parody.
No, I
Didn't-
never. No,
Oh, you acted in that.
I had a small acting part.
Casino Royale, right?
I was in it. Yeah, it was a moronic enterprise, and I was in it in a small way. I was just starting out, and at that point in my life, I had to do anything in film to get a foothold, and so I was advised to be in it when they offered it to me. But I saw the first James Bond film, and it was fine, but I was never moved to see another one. I'm not it doesn't
All
interest
right.
me.
Well, if you do, I would not start with Roger Moore.
Okay.
Anyway, although the lovely gentleman. Okay, what? Lawrence of Arabia.
Lawrence of Arabia, again, it's impressive filmmaking, but there was a lot in it that I didn't think it was.
I don't get it.
I didn't think it was.
I don't. I mean, like, what is it about? It's so lauded, and yet I have watched it a couple of times, and I'm like,
Well, the filmmaking is impressive. Technically impressive. I thought a lot of the acting in it was cornball. I mean, I did. And I went to like it because, I had heard so many wonderful things about it. And look, I mean, when I criticize these things, I couldn't make a film that impressive if I tried my whole life. I'm just talking.
well, you did not work on that scale.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Right, it's not your choice. It's just not your
I
style.
wouldn't be able to. I don't
Yeah.
have the ability.
So what? You have this other ability that they don't have.
Oh no. Hey. You'll make it through this, man. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. It sucks, man. I mean, yeah, you think about death a lot as shit happens to you, but I wish you the best. You'll get through it. Just sucks. It sucks. Just life is just just full of pain, man. It's just like one after the other. It's terrible, terrible. Sucks to hear.
The Graduate.
The Graduate I liked. I saw it years after it came out, and I liked it. You know, again, I didn't think it was a great movie, but I liked it, and the people in it were wonderful, and
So I guess I should just forget about Twilight.
which one?
Twilight? I bet you your kids have seen it, about vampires in the high school.
No, I don't know it. I don't know it.
I know. Sunset Boulevard.
Sunset Boulevard is what my wife would call, and I would agree with her, fun junk. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's great fun, but it's a junky, silly movie. But it
No
but,
lofty thoughts.
but it's fun.
Okay, but then we're back to lofty thoughts. I know the one you love is Streetcar.
Streetcar I love. Yes, I think it's a perfect work of art.
I'm spending
A great,
way too much
great
time on
play.
this. It's because like I don't know how to
Every line in
draw
it is
this.
Superb. Every choice.
Why can't I draw
in it is
this? Dude?
Superb.
It's just my brain.
They lucked out in every way. They had a great director
Oh,
at
I'm
the
just
height of
tripping
his
out.
powers.
I'm just tripping
They
out.
had Marlon Brando at the height of his powers. I mean, it was just superb in every way.
But you also said in the book you relate to Blanche. That's who you are.
Yes, and that's going with what you were saying before. I really don't want realism. I want magic. And magic has appeared in many of my films.
Yes.
And I think there's no way out of this terrible mess that we're all in without some kind of magical solution. Without that, nothing's going to happen.
See, I would say that Purple Rose of Cairo might be a great movie because the ending of it's you're rooting for this happy ending that would please your heart, shall we say. But it has a better ending. It's the right ending.
It's the right ending.
It's the right ending. And that's why it's a brave choice, which maybe makes it a great movie because, well, it's been out 30 years. Can I tell the plot?
It's one of my better movies. I wouldn't call it great, but it is one of my better movies. And they did pressure me to change the ending.
Sure.
They had gone up to Boston to screen it. And
Describe the plot. And I know you say you relate also to that character that Mia Farrow played in that. Hey, you ever try to pick a show on one of the 20 streaming services these days? You scroll for 40 minutes, watch two trailers.
Bill.
And the character, Jeff Daniels, handsome leading man, he comes off the screen. Now, of course, this is under the category of buy the premise, buy the bit. You gotta buy the premise, and then you run with the bit. So the character comes off the screen, right? Okay. So, and then romances her. I mean, legitimately, they fall in love. And then the actor,
Right.
the real actor, the real guy, is pissed off because this guy came off the screen and now he's like stealing his thunder. There can't be two of them running around.
Right, he's hurting them.
Right. So he comes to town to try to get that guy, the one who came off the screen, to go back up on the screen.
Yes.
So he romances Mia Farrow.
That's
And
right.
she falls for him. And now she has to make a choice between the guy who came off the screen, Jeff Daniels, and the real actor. And the guy who came off the screen, you know, he's a little more true and honest. But the other guy, he's real. So she, you know, as an audience member, you're like, okay, this is great. She's going to get everything she wants. She's going to get this great guy. And now he's human. So they have a future together. But it means the other guy has to go back up on the screen. So she does that. She picks the real guy. The other guy goes back up on the screen. And then she's like, he said, the real one's going to take her back to Hollywood. And she's at the train station and or whatever. And of course he didn't show up. Of course he was just using her. your heart wanted them to like have this fairy tale ending, but no.
But
That's what ambitious actors do.
yes, but you remember this. The capsule, excuse me, the capsule meaning of the film
What?
is that we are all,
This
in
is
my
so bad.
opinion, forced
Just
to
looks so
choose
terrible.
between reality
I don't know why I can't
and
understand this.
fantasy.
Just
And it's very pleasurable to
It's
choose
too
fantasy,
saggy, dude.
but in the end, that way lies madness.
All right,
So
all right.
you have to choose reality, and reality always kills you. It always hurts you, but you have no choice. You can't choose fantasy because you go nuts. So you have to choose real, and the real
There you
is
go.
always heartbreaking because life is heartbreaking.
Is that the ending to the ones you love? These, you know, Seventh Seal and these types. It's always the realistic ending.
Yes, the
They don't cop out.
Bicycle Thief has an ending that will have you in tears, and the Seventh Seal won't have you in tears, but it's very powerful film.
But like in the, I mean, the movies that you talked about and that took people away, they were so anti-realistic. I mean, in the 30s and 40s and 50s, the audience had zero expectation of realism. They're actually offended by it. Like if you got shot, you didn't like bleed out.
That's right.
And a kiss was very chaste. Things were just indicated.
You were not allowed to open your mouth. There were rules. They had to sleep in double beds when they were married. On the screen, you never saw any of those married couples in the same bed. They always had to have double bed. They were very, very prudish and very strict about that. You know, but those were escapist films, and one could make the case that
Jesus.
since there's nothing you can really do about the tragic side of life, that maybe in the end the better thing to do is to make the films that are escapist and give people an hour and a half of respite from the terrible anxieties of life. Let them enjoy themselves in an unrealistic manner for an hour and a half, and go back, you know, refresh them like a cold drink of water on a hot day, and they go back. And all the confrontational films, the heavy films, don't do anything except, you know, reiterate the tragedy of life, which you already know about.
I have to tell you, like when I was a 14-year-old with other wise-ass New Jersey boys, and your early movies were out, and we loved them, and what you thought about when you watched movies back then, and the people were, you know, in the apartment where the elevator opened right into the apartment, and every phone was white, and you said people were always drinking, but no one ever vomited.
That's right.
Okay, but that was to you. Your shit was to us as 14-year-old boys, because like we read about your life, you know, eating dinner at Elaine's every night, and like all these women. I mean, you were such a ladies' man.
Incredible that I was able to have a life and to have been involved with a number of women that were quite beautiful and formidable, gifted and intelligent.
You had dated Diane Keaton and both her sisters.
I was an unusually lucky guy when it came to. I've had some wonderful women in my life, very, very influential on me.
Oh, I know. You said that, like, at some point you were under the wing of Mel Brooks.
No, not under the wing. I got on the Sid Caesar show. I'm about 10 years younger than Mel, and he was very, very friendly with me. Very nice to me on the
but
show.
You said the book at least says you looked up to him in the sense that you were just amazed that this small Jew
Oh,
could
yes.
could be.
Because we'd walk home together from the show. We lived in the same neighborhood. And
Okay.
we'd walk home together after the show. And he would regale me with stories about his love life. And it was remarkable to me that, these very beautiful women, he captivated them all. And he did it all with his personality,
That's
with
what
his brains, with his personality.
That's what we were saying about you. Okay, that's what my 14-year-old self was like. This small Jew is getting a lot of tail. So there's got to be something to this comedy thing, you know?
Yes. Well, it's interesting that you say that, because when they interview women, and I guess men too, actually, but when they interview, I notice more with women that when they ask them what's important to them, that sense of humor comes up almost more than anything else all the time.
They're lying.
Try so
They
huge.
it's just that when the good-looking guy says anything, they laugh.
That could be,
No, it's not. They really do like us. You know why they like a sense of humor? Because what women crave more than anything is intimacy. They never feel like you're quite intimate enough, and like there's nothing sexier, than nothing wettens panties more than like a private joke that you have with a girl, because it says, oh, it's just us. We're the only two that understand this, and humor hits that note for them.
I guess, because I can see it with Mel, and I can see with myself that I was able to go out with women that I could have only dreamt of when I was younger, and what they saw in me, I couldn't
The
figure out.
stuff about your first two marriages it's so many funny lines. I mean, there's so many LOL lines in here, but like
LOL.
when you said when you were Louise Lasser, who's like, we've all had the Louise Lasser, the one who's toxic in many ways, but too sexy you can't resist, right?
Mhm.
I mean, that's her for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good
I mean,
description of
Sinatra
that.
had Ava Gardner.
Yes,
That was, his version. We all have that girl where we shoot up Palm Springs and then we make up. We all did it. But the line that I loved was, I think one of your first dates, and you said, I was so exhausted when I got home from being charming. I felt like I'd run a marathon.
Yes,
It's like,
I was working.
oh, I remember that age when you are just working hard.
Yeah, you're selling, because you have to sell yourself.
Oh.
The lovely girl, the beautiful girl, the charming girl, the brilliant girl says, this is what I bring to the table. Now, what do you have? And you look at him, what do I have? Gee, I'm not,
Right.
Montgomery Clift, and I'm not brilliant, and I'm not, so you gotta work and sell yourself, and you try very hard to impress the girl, and
Well, people would think you're brilliant, but we won't have that argument again. But
I would not want to give the impression in this conversation that I was some kind of romantic ladies' man who scored all the time and was successful. That was not the situation. Most of the time I struck out. It was the few times that I succeeded, I happened to be lucky. I succeeded with some very lovely women. They were brilliant.
Yeah.
They were creative. They
Yeah.
were beautiful. They were,
yeah,
and as I say, very influential on my life. I learned a lot from all of them. Yeah.
and this is the kind of thing you talk about in therapy. Are you still in therapy?
No, I haven't been for a long time.
Thank God. You said, I still have the same issues and problems and neuroses I had when I was 17.
Yeah, this is true.
Then why, never understand this about therapy. Doesn't that say it's not working? Why keep doing it?
Of course, for me, I can only speak for myself, because other people have told me that it worked remarkably with them. For me, it worked a little bit. It was a little helpful, not as much as I hoped. I thought I was going to go in and come out, a new man and just in control of everything. But that didn't happen. But I made a tiny bit of progress, and so that was the best I could do. You
But
know,
how could a stranger know you better than you? Aren't you always to some degree like telling another human being things that you know even deeper, but you're not saying?
no, but if you just go in, if you go in and talk about your deepest feelings, and you keep talking about them uninhibitedly over and over and over, you yourself start to realize certain things. I never had, a Perry Mason moment, a eureka moment. I mean,
Right.
I never. I just, but.
Or Della would rush into the courtroom with new evidence about your psyche.
No, I did.
Yeah.
I never wept. I never broke down.
Right.
But gradually, I mean, even as phlegmatic a person as me.
Were you funny in therapy? I bet you the therapist you had, what a lucky job to
They
get entertained by
overestimated
you
me.
twice a week.
One of them said to me, I've only had a few. One of them said to me, I thought it was going to be so interesting doing therapy with you, but it's like, with an accountant or a businessman.
Because
I was, I'm not exciting in person. I'm not, I'm not scintillating I'm okay, pleasant.
I think, yeah, okay. I think you have. I always thought you had what I call New York syndrome, which is like people who just can't be happy unless they're a little unhappy. Like your thing with, you're obsessed with the universe ending. That you must know that's so crazy. Like, what is the universe expanding, or is it why is it going to end? Something with the universe.
It's going to end. It's coming apart.
It's coming apart.
Flying apart. Yeah,
But not like by Friday.
Very, very fast speed, increasing speed.
I know, but okay, so it's coming apart, but not for millions of years. You do see how crazy it is to worry about something that's not going to happen for millions.
But the overall theme. I mean, I will come apart long before the universe. I mean, at the end of this year in December, I'll be 90.
I know.
And I plan on dying in the next few years.
AI could stop that. Would you live forever if AI let you?
You mean, what would they do? Insert a little mechanism in my head, and I would never be experiencing me.
I don't have the blueprints, but AI is doing amazing things. And keep you just reverse the deterioration of cell damage, which is what kills us. I mean, it's not unreasonable that they could come up with something where you could literally be immortal.
Yeah, I guess, but right now they have nothing, and I'm 90.
I know, but I must tell you that, like, there are some people who are, like, unrecognizable from 29 to 89. Like, you look at a picture, like, sometimes they capture, like, a guy who was a prison guard at a concentration camp, and they show a picture of you when he was, like, 25 as the guard at Treblinka.
Right.
And then now he's been an auto worker for 50 years in Ohio, and he's and he's like, I wasn't this guy, and you kind of know he was, but you look at the pictures like, he just looks so different. You look exactly like Woody Allen. I mean, obviously older, but like completely recognizable.
Well, yeah, I look recognizable, but that can change overnight.
Yes, it can.
You suddenly
Yes.
hit that number, and then I come in here, with osteoporosis.
Yeah. Okay.
Shaking.
Well, let's not. I feel like you're a hypochondriac who actually is never sick.
I've been very lucky. I've been lucky. My parents had longevity.
Right.
And I've been blessed so far without, but I've spoken to people who I'm saying, it's remarkable, you're 95 years old and you look so great, you're so vigorous and everything is great, and next year they're dead.
Look,
I mean,
I'm about to be 70, which I'm sure to you is like, oh, if I was only 70.
70 would be a pleasure.
Exactly. And I feel the hot breath of, who with the scythe, you can't not. You feel, even though we feel fine right now, we know the thing is chasing us in a way it wasn't chasing us when we were 30.
It's closer to us.
Yeah, it's
coming up.
But again, we don't know with AI and things like that. And I mean, does
Yeah, I don't put much faith in it yeah, I still think that I'm 90
Yes.
and I'm going to be dead soon. And the AI
Well-
and AI, you know, what can they do? They can only, you know, put metal, you know, mechanical
no.
things in your head
Yeah.
or your heart. And
we don't
but
know what AI can do. That's the whole point, is that they're smarter than us by now. We don't know what. First of all, they're plotting against us. You know this, right? I mean, the robots are going to take over. But they also might keep us alive. Or they might kill all of us because we misgendered somebody.
I don't think they're going to keep us alive. I mean, I don't think necessarily they're going to kill us, but I don't think you're ever going to get to that. I mean, they can increase longevity with advanced medical, you know, knowledge, but it doesn't look good. There's no way out of this.
Now that you're in California, can't thank you enough for coming here. Get some sun. I know you hate the sun. You know we're solar creatures. We need sun.
I hate the sun.
But I'm telling you, this is science. We already know. We don't even need AI to know this. We need sun. We're solar people. We need it to convert vitamin D. I mean, look.
A little of it, yeah, but
Right.
basically it's carcinogenic and
It's not basically. It's carcinogenic when there's too much of it. Yes, it can be.
and it's unpleasant.
It's how can sunlight be unpleasant?
No,
It's like the ultimate.
hot and ugly.
I know, but it's like the ultimate metaphor in song and poetry for happy and good. Like the sun came out is a metaphor for
I
good.
don't see it that way when I get up in the morning and
I
open
know.
the blinds. If
I
it's
know.
a gray, misty day
I
in
know.
Manhattan, it's beautiful. And if it's sunny and glaring, it's not so nice. I can't get used to it.
Well, I mean, we see those things kind of differently.
Can I say that I wrote a novel?
Yeah.
Can I?
Oh.
Because I
Why
wrote
would-
a book that will come out in September. This is
Oh.
a memoir,
Right.
and it's nonfiction.
It's your life.
It's my life.
It's fantastic.
Such
It's
as it is.
You're such a great prose stylist. I mean, besides being LOL throughout the book and like just being so honest, you're just a great writer as far as like.
Well, you're very nice to
No, it's
say
true.
that.
Writing is just a series of sentences, and sentences can be good and they can be bad. I know they say if they put a monkey in front of a typewriter for long enough, he'd come out with Shakespeare. That's bullshit. He never would. But the rest of us are choosing from the 400,000 or so words in the English language, and you choose great ones.
Well, thank you.
It's true.
I decided finally to write a work of fiction, and I wrote a novel. The title is escapes me at the moment, called "What's with Baum." What's like what's with Woody or what's with Baum, and it comes out in September of this year, and I have no idea how people will respond to it. I'm hoping it will entertain them, but you know, I don't know. I had fun writing it. Does not mean for a second anyone will have fun reading it.
No, I find your writing always. I mean, you've written a lot of stuff. I mean, I remember the
New York
Without
Refuses.
Feathers book that I had when I was a kid, Without Feathers.
Yeah, New York, the
Yeah.
accumulation.
Well, yes, I mean, I feel like you, in your writing, you are completely precise, a perfectionist, in a way that, by your own admission, you are not in filmmaking. I mean, you're the first one to say, like, when it's 5 o'clock, if I could make the movie better with another take of that shot, but the Knick game is starting, you go to the Knick game.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not a perfectionist.
Right.
I don't have the dedication that my peers and colleagues have. If you look at these other filmmakers that I came along with, Coppola and Scorsese and Spielberg, and they're perfectionists and they're great.
Right.
I am not a perfectionist. I'm careless, but when you write a book, it's much easier to be a perfectionist because you know you're home and it's
But
not that much.
but that's your style. Like, yes, there is something to be said, a lot to be said for the way those filmmakers do what they do, and their perfectionism is noted and appreciated. But you just have a different style, which people have come to expect in a Woody Allen movie. You say it yourself. I don't do coverage. You did that movie where you lent yourself out as an actor to Paul Mazursky.
Yes.
Is it the
scenes from the mall?
Oh, the Mall movie with Bette Midler.
Now, I didn't see it, but I did it strictly.
I saw it. It was okay.
I had respect for
Right.
Mazursky, so
Okay.
I did it.
But again, I remember you saying, like, you know, this guy works not like I do. He rehearses, and this is how most directors work. They rehearse, they have a storyboard, they plan things, they care if the actors say the words on the page. You don't do any of that. And like that's your style, and it's fine because like a lot of show business is people wasting time and money doing shit that nobody would notice.
I think what you're saying is true. There's a lot of waste and a lot of time waste. You know, I'm careless about that. I don't care about it. Mazursky, a very fine director, was meticulous and he plotted things out and put tape on the floor and we went to the locations first and that made him comfortable and he was able to do very nice movies when he worked. But I don't have the patience. I don't have the concentration to do it. I was not a good student. I can't concentrate. I didn't like homework. In all the years I made films, I never took a sheet home with me. What do you call it?
Call sheet?
A what? Call sheet. I never took a call sheet home with me. I never got one. I never knew what I was shooting.
You are always on the call sheet. You're the director.
I'm a director, and I don't care what I'm shooting the night before.
It's whether you were on the sheet as an actor. See, to me, there's two kinds of Woody Allen movies, and they're both can be great. I mean, but the ones you're in are just different. You know, like you're just a charismatic person. It's impossible to explain. And a lot, like your appeal is so universal all over the world, and yet what you're doing often is so idiosyncratic, you know, like so, you know, you once, I think, did an Albert Shanker joke in one of your...
I did, yes, and it didn't matter to me that people would know who Albert Shanker was.
They get some things by osmosis.
They get it, yes.
Yeah, and so, like, yeah, when you're in the movie, I mean, you know, do I like a lot Vicky Cristina? Yes, and Match Point, and I love Midnight in Paris. But like, I like deconstructing Harry more because you're Harry, you know, because it's just a different kind of movie.
You know, it's interesting. The one thing that I remember that you would not agree with me on for sure was I know you took issue with my adoration of Bob Hope.
No, not in the way. No, I don't know who told you that.
I saw you. I mean, I saw you on television, and I don't remember the quote.
Okay.
But you seemed to feel that
okay.
It was hard for you to understand.
You know what that
the
is?
level of adoration I had for him.
But you know what that is? That's because I saw my parents, who are World War II veterans, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
My father was in Patton's Army. My mother was an Army nurse.
Uh-huh.
They met up over there.
Mm-hmm.
In the era when Bob Hope was every GI's hero.
Uh-huh.
And I watched them become so disillusioned when he became a right-wing, cheap, phone-it-in, whoremongering douchebag.
Okay, so I'm not that far off.
No,
that you have criticism of him,
right? No, but he was great when you loved him, and I can totally separate the artist from the schmuck. I mean, I will listen to an R. Kelly record tonight if I want to. I don't care. And yes, he was great in those early movies, but he did become this asshole who would never do a second take. I remember when his specials would come on, and my mother used to be, you know, Bill, his monologue is starting. You know, they would gather around the TV. This is the World War II guy. And then at some point, he was just stumbling through the cue cards. And I remember working with him once on something, and I've heard this from other people, would never do a second take. Even when you stumble over a line or something, and I need more runway jokes. He just became something different, and I saw that hurt my parents. So I did have a little bit of venom for him.
That's interesting, because I agree with you that his later work was not comparable to some of those movies, but if you see The Great Lover,
Yes. Yeah.
Some of those pictures,
No,
he's
the road.
amazing.
I love the road movies. I love Bob Hope as a coward, and I know you were doing Bob Hope.
I did them all the time.
Yeah, and that's good. You steal from the best. I
used to do before I go out on a date with a girl, I wasn't thinking, gee, I'm going to be Alan Ladd or Gary Cooper. I'm going to be Bob Hope, and that's who I was. That was my idol, and you can see him, me doing him in movies sometimes shamelessly. It's really. I mean, I'm really putting on his suit, as Jack Rollins would say.
When you're being arrested for backing out badly in any hall, and you're saying to the cop, this is not necessary. I don't mean to be facetious or didactic. That's Bob Hope through Woody Allen, and of course it's unrecognizable to most people. That's the great thing about being a bad impressionist. When you steal, nobody even knows.
Nobody knows that you're stealing, yeah. But I stole from him. I did a little documentary film honoring him for Lincoln Center once. Dick Cavett and I put together a thing, and I put in a scene next to his deliberately to show the audience how I was stealing from him, and it was a scene from my movie Love and Death, and I put it next to one of his scenes, and you could see it there because I highlighted it, and you could see the same. He was just a great influence on me, both in life. Before I go out for an evening with a young woman, I would put on, and of course I was never myself. So what they must have been thinking, who this idiot is that I'm out with tonight, who's cracking these one-liner jokes constantly.
But it's better when someone gets to. I mean, he lived to 97, as I recall.
He did, yeah.
It's better when someone in their later years doesn't become something that makes you go, you didn't. Despite what the idiots who witch hunted you want to make people believe, you didn't. You're the same guy.
Yes.
You didn't become Bob Hope.
I'm hoping in the second half of my life I live up to that. Groucho was a guy who aged and didn't lose his touch.
Groucho, let me ask you this. If you think you've never made a great movie, how come all your idols, the people you idolized, were your fans? I'm talking about Groucho Marx, S.J. Perlman, Tennessee Williams, Fellini, Bergman, all these people who are your idols. They all were your fans. It's in the book.
Yes.
How could you not make a great movie if they all liked you that much?
They were fans, but I think if we got down to specifics with them, they would say, yes, I liked him. He was very good. He did this and this. But no, I wouldn't say any movie he made equaled City Lights or Kurosawa's movies or Bergman's movies or Fellini's.
So it has to be right at the tippy top of the movies that I may never see.
That was the big
I'm going to watch them. I'm going to watch them.
That's the big surprise with this conversation to me, that you, because you would enjoy them, they'd be meaningful to you in terms of content and intellect, and you would love the actual.
Let's just say I saved it for my 70s. I saved something in my life. Isn't it good?
Yes, you can look. Yeah, you look forward to them.
Yes,
you can look forward to those movies.
I will definitely look for. I mean, I wish I could see. I know you probably are never going to appear in another movie. You're certainly too old to play the ingenue.
Yeah, that was the direction. When I stopped being young enough to play the love interest.
Men get a bigger break on that than women.
Yes.
And, I mean, how old were you when you made Deconstructing Harry?
I don't know. I don't know how
Okay,
old I
but you
was.
it was not something that made people go, oh, that's ridiculous.
You
No.
didn't throw up.
You
no.
didn't throw up.
But-
Exactly.
but-
And what more greater benchmark can we have than that for filmmaking? You
Well-
didn't throw up.
Yeah, that's the quote we use for the picture to sell it.
But I love that one because it's dirty. Like you say fuck and cunt and like and I never saw you do that before so much.
Did I? Was I dirty? in
It
that
was,
picture?
I loved it. It was not very, but like, no, but yeah, there was, that character said some dirty things.
Yeah, I'm surprised because I was always very careful about that.
That's why I loved it,
Uh,
because you weren't.
I
Also had those jump cuts.
I, I,
Remember that?
I,
In Deconstructing Harry?
I don't remember the picture. No, I mean I remember some things in it, but I don't remember.
You don't remember doing those jump cuts? Where it's like,
I don't, because I've done jump cuts in some movies.
Oh.
I don't. I don't remember.
well, anyway.
I was always very clean in my movies, and not because of any prudish impulses, but I always felt it was, unless you needed to do something, what they called dirty. It wasn't dirty, but that's how they referred to it. That you didn't need it. I never showed too much violence in my movies. Not because I love violence. I mean, in Bonnie and Clyde, I think it's brilliant. But it's all those things are used so to substitute for good drama. People think that it's very dramatic or it's very funny or outrageous because it's dirty or it's
Yeah, no, you're not. I mean, you are the farthest thing from dirty. When I read that Ed Sullivan and Jack Parr both accused you of being dirty, I thought,
yes, they did.
For what? What? There was.
Well, in those days,
But what was it? What was it that got their panties in a bunch?
It is the slightest kind of sexual reference, mild, so mild it would be ridiculous. You wouldn't consider it dirty at all. But they were prudish about their shows and their audiences, and
You could still be in a movie. You're just not the love interest, unless the woman's 80.
yeah, it's hard to be in. It's hard. I don't want to do a geyser movie, a geezer movie.
No, but
What
what you could do is just not be the lead character. That's almost better. Just be a 90-year-old person who's in the story, because we like it when you're in the movie.
Yeah,
And you look the same.
But I like to get the girl. I like to sit opposite the girl over candlelight.
Well, you can't.
No, I can't. I know.
Okay.
I can't.
What do I?
And I know.
You can't.
But
you have to come to terms with, mortality. Did you ever you seem to have this pessimistic view that I'm going to die and blah blah blah, which I guess was.
It's not so pessimistic. It's probably going to happen.
Okay, it's probably going to happen. But does that give you any second thoughts? Do you ever hedge your bets about? No, I don't know if you call yourself an atheist. I think we're both very much on the same page with that. I proudly say the word, but I don't know if you do. But we both. You've said in the book, religion's a hustle. You think God is a crass bungler. This sounds exactly like what I think. But does it make you ever go, whoa, maybe I should start believing just in the last minute?
No, I think that you either have that gift or you don't. I don't.
Right.
So I couldn't. But I always envy people who actually believe in God. It's
Yes.
a great
Tremendous.
pleasure, a great
Oh.
thing, the gift.
People who put their head on the pillow at night and say, I know that if I die in my sleep, I'll go to a better place.
And believe it, not because they're not doing it for any other reason. I was not blessed with that. No.
When you think about the changes just from one generation, what year was your father born?
1900.
1900. My father was born in 1921. We're 20 years apart. Back same thing. That's just one generation. But we have. Just the smartphone. Forget about AI. If they Rip Van Winkle their way back to life, your father or my father, coming from a time, your father before radio. Radio. Well, I mean, it's just mind-boggling how much change takes place
Yes.
in a single generation. Really does.
Yeah, yeah. If you think back, if I think back to my grandfather, I mean, I think back to Lincoln. You know,
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, the same guy, right?
There was a Phil Lincoln, gay.
No, I'm thinking of Abraham.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
But your father, interesting the way you write about him. One of the funniest things, the gag in radio days that killed me, was, your father was kind of a wily Odysseus kind of character, right?
Yeah, he was shifty.
And shifty, right? And so the kid, he's acting up at the table, and the mother's always like, "And stop it! Your father works so hard." And the kid keeps saying, "At what?"
That's right. You never knew in my family.
Okay, I accept he works hard. Doing what?
Well, you knew your father's job, right?
I did. Yes.
You did. You had a stable home.
I did. I was very lucky. Well, you did too.
Yes,
It was stable.
It was very loving. I have no excuses. I had loving parents and friends,
But
and
I
everyone
love it.
was nice to me. And I grew up misanthropic and
But they were married
depressed. And
70 years.
my
Yeah?
parents.
Yeah. Isn't
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's as long as I've been
Out of
alive.
spite.
What?
Out of spite.
That's
know-
right. That's a great line.
Yeah.
Out of spite.
Yeah. They stayed together. But I had a very nice childhood. All my relatives loved me. And
Yeah.
everything was great. I should have been a very happy, sweet, nice, good-natured person. But I turned out to be misanthropic, neurotic, hypochondriacal, depressed. I don't know why.
But not bad to other humans.
No.
Okay. I mean, a misanthrope.
It doesn't trust them, doesn't like them. But I'm not
Yes.
bad to them. I'm not cruel or anything. I'm nice to people.
No,
I don't like them. I don't.
Right. You say in the book you don't like meeting new people. And,
No, I don't.
And you don't like to be wherever you are.
Right. I'm
So welcome.
chronically unhappy, chronically
You must be
dissatisfied,
miserable right now.
chronically unhappy.
Yeah. New
Yeah.
Yorker syndrome.
Yeah, I wonder. Maybe
Yeah.
it is. Maybe someone standing outside looking at New York would say, there's millions of people that live here, and a good portion of them have that syndrome.
But you also have wondrous things in your life. I mean, okay, your parents had a marriage that was out of spite, but the way you describe your marriage, completely idyllic.
It is. It's great. I lucked out.
Right.
Lucked out completely.
Okay. I mean, you say, you eat every meal together.
Yeah.
I mean, and this has been going on for 30 years, basically.
We've been married for about 30 years. Yeah.
I mean, that's it's a crazy world.
Yeah.
It is amazing though the way the media gets stuff very often not just wrong, but like diametrically wrong. Like, and I know from things they've written about me, when you read about yourself, it's what you say to yourself is, wait, this is the one subject I know really well. Me. I know what I said. I know what I do.
Sure.
So, like, if I'm reading about me and it has no relation to reality, how can I trust what you're saying about anything? Iran, plastics, fucking.
I've asked that question at times in show business. That I would see things that his movie is based on this, or he's doing a book about this, and it's completely untrue. And I think to myself, okay, these are trivial things. I'm not doing a movie about that. I didn't get the idea for this movie from that. So what must be going on in when they talk about wars and taxes and the government? And I asked a journalist that once, and he said, well, it's different. They're not as scrupulous on the show business stories. He said when it comes to the serious things, they are more accurate, and they do try harder. When it comes to the, the show business stories, they don't have the same level of.
I'm not sure I have your confidence in that part of it either. I mean, you're a lot calmer than I would be if I had been in your situation with. I mean, you say you're disillusioned with liberals. I'll bet, but like the last 10 pages, you kind of finally ride. It's awesome. You kind of, but even then, it's done in such a particular and professional way. It never gets nasty. It sticks to what you can prove, basically. But
Yeah, I'm not nasty by nature.
no, but but the disillusion. I mean, look, you did a movie. You again lent yourself out as an actor, which you don't do a lot, for the Blacklist. I mean, the front.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you must have. I know you did notice the sort of recapitulation of the witch hunt. I mean, obviously that was about the witch hunting communists. To then what happened to you? And I mean, I'm hardly been the first one to notice that the kind of moralizing that we used to hate from the right, the Jerry Falwells of the world, and then it came from the left. I mean, I've had it happen to me on a much lesser scale than you, but it is. I find it a bitter pill.
It comes from both sides.
It does.
It comes from the right
But
and the left.
Mostly what happened to you came from the left.
Uh,
You were a victim of over excesses of the Me Too movement and wokeness and a lot of inconsistencies there. But yeah, I mean,
But I was lucky because that could be ruinous. Depending, I was when everything happened, I was much older. I had done 45 movies already. I had made enough money so I could retire for life comfortably. I was thinking even I only want to make a few more movies, and then I would like to start to write books and plays. And so it happened to me at a time when it was no problem. If it had happened when I was 25 or 30,
the first wave of it happened. First wave of it happened in 1993 when you were first with Sun Yi. That was a giant scandal. But what people forget maybe is that for years after that, you were golden.
I didn't have any real practical problems from
Any
it.
A-list star, if they got a call, Woody Allen wants you in his movie, they would all do it. For very little money, It was just a super prestigious thing that then went to the, I mean, you have a great line about, like, it became the thing to do not to work with me the way, suddenly people wanted kale.
Yes, but it amused me because it didn't.
That's awesome.
It didn't have any as a practical thing. It was not hurtful to me.
Oh, come on! Yes, it was.
Well,
I mean, it
no,
should.
No, it wasn't. As I'm talking about, as a practical matter, I was, as I say, I was in my 80s, and I had made so many movies, and it didn't matter. It didn't hurt me. If I was 30 or 40, it would have been career-ending.
But disillusionment.
But it wasn't. My
come
career
on.
was,
Disillusionment is disillusionment at any age. I mean, you must. I know you said in the book you were disillusioned at the justice system. I thought that was fascinating. You said
that's different.
I was so naive. I thought there was a penalty for perjury.
Yeah, you're shocked because most people don't find themselves in a situation in a courtroom, and you're in a courtroom and people are perjuring themselves one after the other, and you think, well, isn't this against the law? But you find out that it isn't exactly what you think. That yes, it's against the law technically, but nobody does anything about it. It was interesting. I found the whole thing an interesting and amusing experience in many ways, and only because I had already, as I said, done so many movies and had accumulated enough financial resources so that you know, I wasn't hurt by it, but if I was 40 or 50 or 30 or something, it would have been very, very painful. But at the point that it happened,
But you're still,
it just wasn't.
You're still
and
getting.
I'm not nasty.
I mean, I remember once I got a DUI, which is not nearly what you went through, but you know, they make it go through a 14-week program and go to AA meetings, and like, you are entrapped into the criminal justice system again at a very low level. But even at that level, I was like, whoa, this is awful. I mean, first of all, there's a lot of people who love it that they just have complete power over you and whatever you do, because now you're in the system. The system, it gives you a great insight into what it must be like, you know, for Black Americans who are at the shitty end of the justice system for their whole existence.
Yes, but I was lucky because
no, I am saying it, but it gives you an insight when you see the justice system up close.
Yes,
it's sobering.
Right, but fortunately, I was never really in the system because I was never charged.
Of course you were. There were 2 police investigations.
Yes, but I was never charged with anything. I was found.
I know, but
you
that
know,
would make me.
Found that nothing ever happened.
I know,
in both investigations. So I never really suffered as much as you might think. But I will say, it was fortunate. It came at a fortunate time in my life because I didn't have to worry about money and I didn't have to worry about making films. I made them and you know.
Well, you were much younger when those 2 police investigations were going on. I would be shitting in my pants if the police were investigating me.
Not if you don't, if you're innocent.
Yeah, except innocent people sometimes don't get, I mean, humans are making these judgment calls. And we know what we think of humans.
I don't think much of humans, but I do have great faith in evidence. So I never for a second had a bad moment because I felt it was kind of amusing to turn on the television set and see people talking about it when I knew what the situation was in there.
So you have no bitterness toward the people who renounced you? I mean, there are some people who defended you, like Scarlett Johansson and, well, me, but I'm not in movies, Alec Baldwin, all your ex-lovers, Diane Keaton.
These are people that just made a mistake. I'm not criticizing them.
The renouncers?
They think or thought, whatever the occasion was, that they were doing the right thing, but they were not.
No, they didn't. They're cowards. Are you kidding? Timothy Chalamet, look, he's a great actor. I'm not trying to pick a fight with him, not that he would care. But, you know, I saw him on his campaign for the Dylan movie, which he was incredible in. But this boy wants an Oscar more than his next breath. He'd throw his mother under the bus, okay? So I can't, like, quite sit back as well as you can with this equanimity and say, oh, that, or Greta Gerwig, who renounced you, and, oh, I'm so sorry I worked with him. Okay, you know, she's a big movie director.
They're making a mistake. They're not, first of all, I've had a good time working with both of them, and they think that they're doing something honorable or helpful, but they're not. They guessed wrong. They made a wrong decision on that. Someday maybe they'll realize it. Maybe it will be clear to them for whatever reason. Maybe it never will be. But that's all that they've done is made a mistake.
They're such sheep. You know, it's like, look, the press loves to anoint people. You were anointed for a long time. You were the most anointed person. I mean, the New York Times was always, you were the greatest thing ever. And you were making great movies.
The issue was it never resonated with me. So I just worked and did my movies, and the marriage was great. And, you know, I mean, it hasn't had a practical impact on me.
You've made a movie recently.
You know.
Can we? Is that it?
Well, I've written a novel recently.
People see television more. When you do a movie and it goes right to streaming, who cares? Who cares if you make them go to the movie theater? If they see it in their home, isn't it more important?
I don't know. I grew up in making movies, and they went into movie theaters, and it was a different phenomenon. I'm not happy with them going to screenings, and I just don't streaming. I'm sorry. It just doesn't interest me that much. So I don't care. You know.
But people see it. More people will see it.
Yeah, more people see it, but that's not how I wanted to present it. I want to present it in a movie theater on a screen the way I grew up watching movies. And if I can't, I don't think I want to make movies. I want to write novels or plays.
Because you think the communal experience of a theater is important.
Yeah, the whole gestalt of the thing, the whole, waiting online and going in with a lot of people and sitting down with 500 people or 400 people and watching it together, and then, yeah, they're not isolated, everybody isolated watching a movie at home.
But this is a civilization gone with the wind. Right? I mean, that civilization.
Yeah. And so I'm happy to, make a movie maybe, but not thrilled with it. The excitement is gone. So that's why I wrote this novel. It was fun for me to write a novel, and it will be fun for me to write a couple of plays. I have a play that's in Europe that's going to come to the United States. It's more interesting to me to stand in the back of a theater and watch.
Do your kids ever argue with you about stuff like this? Your kids are like grown now, right?
Yeah,
but they're young adults.
26.
They're what?
They're 26. I have two daughters who are 26.
Okay. Do they argue with you about stuff like this? Do they, is it the typical dad, gotta get with the...
No, they don't. I didn't raise them as, show business kids or movie kids. I didn't show them my movies. Eventually they caught up with a couple of them, but no, they're, no, they don't argue with me. They argue with me about a lot of things, but not that. Mm-mm.
What movies of yours do they like?
Don't say it again?
What movies of yours do they like?
Yeah, I don't know.
Really? That didn't come up with your own kids?
No, because I don't know which ones. They've seen some of my movies, but I don't know which ones they've seen. I've never, I never visited that on them. They're two New York kids. They've gone to school in New York, and one works in the art world, the art gallery, and another one works Emily in Paris, but I never pushed them in any way. I have a very, nice, warm, loving relationship with them, and I never wanted to inflict, you gotta watch your father's movies, or actually the only movie I really ever inflicted on them, and it's not an infliction, it's a treat, was The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. I want them to see it because I find that to be a great American movie, and I showed that to them, and they liked it.
Well, I will put that on my list with The Bicycle Thief.
You never saw that?
I may have seen that. Is that Humphrey Bogart?
Yeah.
Okay. And Casablanca, do we like that one?
I'm not nuts about Casablanca. I mean...
but you wrote the movie that's a parody.
I know, but see, people always associate these things with my life. I wrote because I thought I'd get jokes for it, the same way in Manhattan. I thought I'd get jokes with the older guy and the younger woman. And I thought in Play It Again, Sam, I would get laughs doing stuff bouncing off Casablanca. But the lady who used to write for the New York Times wrote a book about Casablanca. She was a critic for the New York Times, or a feature writer, and she wrote a book about Casablanca, and she called me. And I said, I've never really sat through the whole picture. And she couldn't believe it. And
What part made you drop off?
I lost interest. I lost interest in it. And I'm a great Humphrey Bogart fan. I mean, I really crazy.
Except for his movies? Except for his movies?
No. I
What other bogey movie do you like?
Oh, I loved High Sierra, and I loved Key Largo, and I loved Teen Mutiny, and I just there's something really New Yorky about him. I mean, he's really
Came from New York theater. I mean, he was that first generation of actors who would come from the theater, but most of them failed because they were theater actors. And Bogey understood the medium, you know?
Yeah, he just had it. You can see, you see him in scenes. I saw him in a scene, I can't remember who it was, just last week in some movie on Turner Classic Movies, and the guy with him, it was The Harder They Fall. And Rod Steiger was acting with them. They were nose-to-nose acting, and Steiger was acting up a storm. And Bogart wasn't doing anything, and it was just great. He was just, there was no acting at all. He was just coasting on his personality and talking, and it was just magnetic, just wonderful. The other guy's doing stuff that nobody in life ever does. Nobody talks like that. Nobody carries on like that. But
so your advice to kids getting into the business is coast on your personality?
It's do less. If I've given one direction more than any other in my whole life to actors, it's do less.
So when you did decide to have a surrogate,
Jesus, let him talk.
Play you, because there are parts you could have played.
Oh yeah, sure.
And you chose John Cusack, or you chose Kenneth Branagh, or you chose Mia. Why? Like, why did you some of the time say, I'm going to do it, and then some of the time say, I'm going to have a surrogate deliver this baby?
I don't think I ever had a surrogate when I could have done it. I mean, I don't think I could have played, these are great actors you're talking about. Cusack's wonderful, and Kenneth Branagh's wonderful, and they were much younger than me. I couldn't have, if I could have done it, I would have done it. I always would do the part that I could do, but I aged out of it. I just, when I started to realize that I was not going to be the love interest anymore, then I started to think,
You're the love interest in your life. With all the craziness and the Kafka-esque nonsense you went through, and I don't defend you because I'm a fan, although I plainly am, although you've also made some turkeys, that's true. But you could be the worst filmmaker. I defend you because I don't like witch hunts. They're bad for society, they're bad for people, they're wrong, they're immoral. That's why I do it. Not because I'm a fan.
I'm sure, your persona is much more socially engaged, much more politically engaged. So an issue, you would engage the issue on the merits of the issue.
Yes, and I see a connection between a lot of where the left went that I did not like in recent years and this kind of case, this kind of moralizing, this kind of bullshit, standing apart from the facts, just wanting to look like we're the good people and we shun this person and this person is canceled and that kind of stuff. I don't like it in any of its dimensions. Look, I always say about these cases, if you're not in the room, just don't say to me, I know. You don't know. I don't know about you. Nobody knows except you. I would just say that of all those kind of cases, the preponderance of evidence on the one side makes it just very unlikely that you were guilty of this. It just, none of it makes sense.
I want to make one other point on what you were saying a moment ago. There's a difference between the Me Too movement and cancel culture. I mean, the Me Too movement, for whatever value it had in terms of advancing women's rights is a valuable thing. Cancel culture is a totally different phenomenon. It may be related to it, it may have been utilized by it, or by various, it's been utilized by various, but cancel culture is a pernicious thing, and you know, it's quite a bad thing. But in terms of, I always feel if you're going to be canceled by a culture, this is the culture to be canceled by.
Yes, it's
You know, I
definitely
mean, this is not a culture that
Right.
you can be
Behead you.
proud of.
right.
But there is a big difference. The Me Too movement may have helped women in many ways, and that's to the good.
To the good.
But
Yes.
the concept of canceling
Right.
people is not a
But
good.
I mean, it went too far. You
It's not
had-
a good thing in any area. I mean, forget about women, or you know, in terms of politics, in terms of you know, the McCarthy era. Cancellation is
I mean,
it's just not a way to deal with issues. It doesn't serve any purpose.
but all of this has not turned you into a Trumper.
Into a problem. Into
Trumper.
A Trumper? No, I'm not a Trumper. I'm one of the few
Okay.
people who can say he directed Trump. I directed Trump in a movie.
No.
Yes,
Celebrity?
in Celebrity. And
Okay.
he was, you know, he was a pleasure to work with and a very good actor. He was very polite.
How
and,
dare you.
and hit his mark and did everything correctly and had a real flair for show business.
If you think
I
you were
only
canceled
wish
before.
I could direct him now.
Oh.
If he would let me, if he would let me direct him now that he's president, I think I could do wonders. But he was very easy to work with and
No, yeah.
and very
He's different in person, and when you say that, people who are just purely emotional get very upset, even though it's just the truth. We're just saying the truth.
You know, I am a Democrat. I voted for Kamala Harris, and
too.
and I, you know, take issue with him. You know, on 95% of the things, maybe
Right.
99%. But as an actor, as you know,
Right.
he was very good. He was very convincing and very, you know, he has a charismatic quality as an actor. And I'm surprised he wanted to go into politics. Politics is nothing but headaches and critical decisions and agony. And this was a guy I used to see at the Knick games, and he liked to play golf, and he liked to judge beauty contests, and he liked to do things that were enjoyable and relaxing. And why anyone would want to suddenly have to deal with the issues of politics is beyond me. But apparently he doesn't mind.
But you don't think that going into politics is the ultimate acting job? I mean, that's the whole point about him being so different off stage. They got mad at me for saying this. Is that it's an acting job, and they all do it to a degree. He just took it to like with everything with him, to the nth degree. But it is the ultimate acting job. Being
Well,
the
but that doesn't bother me. They all have to put on a certain patina for the public and all that. But I disagree with many of, I would say almost all, not all, but almost all
Right.
of his politics, of his policies. But in terms, I can only judge, you know, what I know from directing him in film, and he was you know, and he was pleasant to work
Right.
with, and
Oh.
very professional, very polite to everyone, and
All right.
very you know. But as I say, I would like to direct him now that he's president, and have him let me make the decisions.
Well,
But that's not going to happen.
I'll make a call. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming here to California,
Oh.
even though we have sun, horrible, terrible wicked sun.
Yeah, the sun doesn't. Well, it does kill me actually. Sooner or later.
It won't. It will actually help you if you just get a little sun.
I don't need that much vitamin
No,
D.
you do. You absolutely do need vitamin D.
Then I take in a supplement, a little pill. I'll pop it in my orange juice.
Yeah, I don't think that can make up for all of what the sun itself has to do. The sun converts the vitamin D. So no matter how much you take, it has to be converted. I mean, this is the way it was designed by Jesus, Woody. And this is the world we live in. I didn't make it. I'm just trying to tell you, you need a little sun. Let's do a little
I
tanning
get
tomorrow.
a little sun in
Stay
New
a day
York.
later. We'll go out. We'll do a little tanning, and then we'll go to Palm Springs and pick up some girls like Bob Hope.
Put on the lotion and lay back in the chair.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay,
And
well-
you're a treasure for a reason, like I say, and the book
Thank you very much.
is out in paperback, right? Apropos of nothing, isn't that why we're here?
It must be. No, we were here because I have a novel coming out.
A novel.
A novel coming out in September called What's with Baum.
Okay.
And I was really here to promote the novel,
Oh.
but we never got to it.
Let's get to it.
No, I forced it in clumsily, but that's okay,
Yeah.
because it's not going to sell anyhow. So why
I'll buy it.
why waste your
I'm
time?
going to read it. No, it'll sell. You're Woody Allen. You can sell a book.
That's okay, because
He is Woody Allen. Da-na. Sliding bullshit. Always, I'm so. You have to understand light a little bit better. I mean, just, I think a lot of it is that I'm just, so in this case, that'll do. Like this, alright. Gotta sprinkle in some light here and there. I mean, the nose would be. Reflecting the light the most. What else? What else? Where else would the light be hitting? Not necessarily the bottom. Let me try. Right here? No, it doesn't make sense at all. I think this is good. I mean, if you don't want to overdo it. That's good. The light's behind you. The reflected light is kind of hitting you. Yeah, I mean, that seems to make sense. Not a baseball player. I don't know anything about baseball, so I don't know how the gloves really look, to be honest. I guess it looks like that a little bit, right? It's too small. Baseball mitt for ants. To be at least twice as big. He's absolutely right. Oh, what is this? Get out of here. Be gone. Be gone. 12:19. It's 12 o'clock, dude. That's so sad. He just dropped the sad news and went. I'm dealing with death right now. Just lost my father. And he dipped. That's a lot of sadness right there, man.
Swingers, whatever, like it's always an issue. There's not enough hot chicks to go around, but why should they be in such abundance? You know what I mean? They know they're in demand. I mean, and being a beautiful woman is kind of ultimate celebrity stuff, if you think about it.
Sure.
So you come from a traditional family.
Yes,
I would say.
I think very traditional, yeah.
I would say very, considering your brother and
My
your
father,
dad and your mom.
She was a stripper in Vegas, but the rest of them
Other than that.
pretty straightforward.
So, and you don't have children,
No.
right? And never, have you never been married?
No.
Why do you think that?
Not to quote Bill Maher, but whenever someone talks with Bill Maher about that, they well, you're at your age, you haven't been married, never had children. What's wrong with you? And he always says, "What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with me. What's wrong with you? I've just been that way. I've always been my parents got divorced when I was young. Not that really was the deciding factor, but everyone in my neighborhood that I grew up with my entire life ended up divorced.
Yeah.
And I just observed from a distance, and I was like, and also being on the road as a comic, I was just always working. There was no time for girlfriends. There's no time for relationships. And if there was, right before you go on stage, she'd call, "Where are you?" "I'm fucking getting ready to go on stage." Like, what do you mean, where am I? I hate, that's my biggest pet peeve of being in a relationship, is they call you and you know what you're doing. Like, I'm at work.
Yeah.
Why are you not home now? Well, I'm at my meet and greet. Like, you know where I'm at.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel the same way with women.
Imagine being like the president, though. Imagine that, where he's just every second of the day he's got to be something, and the wife would go, "Where are I'm in a staff meeting. I'm on Air Force One. I'm going to. Well, you were supposed to be in Berlin this morning. How come you're not in Berlin? We got delayed with the thing. We got Secret Service. Like, I'm just a stupid comedian. I can't handle it."
Yeah, women do a weird, like, I condescendingly have said to many women I've been with, I'm working.
Right.
You know, they go, "What's going on? Where are you?
Yeah.
It's Saturday. What's up? Come you not?" I go, "I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm working."
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I get
That's
it.
if they know where you are. Like, I'm at the Luxor in my dressing room at 8 o'clock going on stage. Where are you?
Of all the comedians, 20 years, I mean, you got to know your schedule. But so how's it work? You date, you have a girlfriend who understands things, or how's that work?
I just kind of, just free, just whatever. I don't really have any relationships or no. I date my props,
So
I like being single.
No,
I like going where I like to go and be where I gotta be when I gotta be.
no, I get it. I think listen.
My whole crew's married. I said, "Oh, you guys have fun with your wives tonight," and they all leave. And what are you gonna do? "I'm gonna sit back here in the backstage and just have a drink and unwind and watch Sports Center."
I get it, because I'm very much wired
You're
that
miserable.
way.
You're
too.
miserable.
No, listen. I am very happy I have kids, but they don't always make it easy.
Oh,
That's
no,
for
yeah,
damn sure.
sure.
And you do. I literally I was running around this morning, and I got the call from my daughter going, "Hey, what about that bed we talked about? Can you?" And I just went, "I'm real busy right now, but if you call me between 4 and 5, I can, I can put some attention toward it." But for me, it's really weird because I think it's more difficult for me than it is for regular folk who grew up in a normal family, because my parents never did anything for me or anybody else. So when, if your daughter goes, "Well, I want a Mercedes, but I want it to be a convertible. Then I go, all right, I'll get you a Mercedes, but it's not going to be a convertible. They go, ugh. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I couldn't get.
Yeah, I didn't. We grew up the same. I didn't get anything like that ever, ever.
Well, people didn't.
But we didn't
feel,
have money. We weren't broke. We lived in a very modest neighborhood. But getting new shoes. I got my brother's old shoes.
People didn't feel compelled. Adults didn't feel compelled to make children sort of like their number one customer.
Right.
Like in a weird way. That scene in Pretty Woman where Larry Miller comes out and he finds out that now Julia Roberts is hanging out with this billionaire, and he comes up and he just starts sucking up to her.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Every parent is that way with a kid
Right,
now.
sure.
And when I was a kid, like parents were like,
You get
get out. I'm not
Absolutely.
giving no. And by the way, they would just say no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you'd go like, hey, can we go to the Sizzler on no?
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah.
go like they didn't explain
No.
anything.
Oh.
Can I get a mini butt? No.
No.
How about a go-kart? No. How about we go tonight? We get some pie. No.
Same.
It was like,
Same.
all right, no.
No, we do that. Literally, that's the answer to everything. Was the same. And my dad, if you wanted something, he'd build it.
Oh.
So I'm like,
Oh, because he was an engineer
yeah,
guy.
but he build everything. He built his home house.
Oh,
So
really?
he'd say like, get a TV. I'm gonna build it, and I'd have to help him. I helped him build the house. I built him. I mean, I watch these things on sports and all with these guys, and they show that, and people are like, oh, that's bull. I said, no, that's not bullshit. That was me too. I was that kid. My dad made me work in the yard every morning, every day. I'd have to do something.
Would he?
Wash the car, do the thing.
So
build-
if you said to your dad, I want
build the
a
fence.
go-kart, he'd say, I'm
No,
going to
my
build a
dad,
go-kart.
my dad made it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'd
Yeah.
make the go-kart.
But it wasn't just like, okay. He was like, all right, well, I'm gonna see if I can make it. And he spent a long time making it. And it wasn't as good as if you went and just bought one.
Right.
But it was cool. My dad, made me one. I have pictures of that too. So it's made out of wood and shit. He made it, put decals in it, and he was proud of it.
Right.
But we never got anything new. And I remember my friends would be over at the house like, that's an interesting credenza. I said, what? My dad built it. Like what? Everything we had to
So your
build.
dad was like a fabricator.
Yeah, he really was.
And that's kind of interesting. He had a garage full of tools.
Oh, every tool, and it circled around with numbers on it, literally. So if you had a screwdriver, it would be outlined where it went if it was gone. Seriously.
Yeah.
And you get your ass whooped if it was
Yeah,
gone.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was my very first prop. It's so dumb, but it was the very first prop that I made. My dad, we lived in this the Orange Grove at the time, and there was they were building homes, and we'd take all the lumber, and I built a fort. But I mean,
Why
like a
am I
two-story
messing
fort.
up?
I kind of got that from my dad. I was kind of crafty.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad,
he
my dad
built
came home one day
stuff,
and he said, where's my hammer?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't know. And it was, wherever you see it wasn't in the...
See the outline.
And I said, I don't know. And he went he went to my fort, came back, and he says, huh, it's in your fort. I said, oh. And he goes, no, I'm like 9.
Mm-hmm.
He says, how did it get in there? I said, I don't know. He said, it just walked in there by itself. So he went to work that day, or that next day, and I went and I found a doll, and I screwed arms and legs on the hammer, and he came home from work, and I said, it did walk in there. But now I'm 8 or 9. So
Right.
that's the first thing
Right,
I actually made, and my dad looked at me like, the fuck is it? I said, it did walk in there. My dad just looked at me like, where did you get? I said, I made it. Like, he was just dumbfounded that I had made this hammer with the legs and arms on it. But that's where it all, that's what this started the process of building stupid shit.
Yeah, it's
And now,
interesting.
40 years later, hey, we're still building it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
cool.
I mean, for you.
I made one for Cialis and Viagra that day. This commercial said, get your Cialis and Viagra from Friday Plans. They deliver it to your house on unmarked white envelopes. And I said, every time I watch this commercial, I want just the opposite. I want my neighbors to know that I've got Viagra. I want the FedEx box coming and sirens and whistles. So I built this FedEx box that's got sirens and wee.
Right.
And I walk out, my deck, I got my Viagra. And it gets such a laugh, but it's a silliness of the people seeing the commercial, and then they see the prop. And then you end by saying, this wasn't easy to make. The kids in the sweatshop make it. I just build it, I knew it before
How much of your stuff do you make?
Almost all of it, unless it's my dad would make a couple.
Your dad would
When
make
he was
you
alive,
props.
yeah, well, because I would call him, and if it was something that needed engineering to it,
Uh-huh.
and it was like speaking of NASCAR. I know you, but I'm a big, huge race fan. I saw your cars in here. I'm a big fan of NASCAR. I don't know what the race was in Vegas or something. And I said I need a NASCAR joke, so I had this Tony Stewart like helmet, and I got these little NASCARs, and I had it in my head what I wanted, but I couldn't make it, so I called my dad and I said, Dad, I need you to, can you make this? And I'm trying to explain it, so I faxed, a picture of when I'm talking to him. He got it, he goes, all right. So he went and got a motor and built it into the car, and you hit a button and the cars would go around like this. So I said, this is what you wear if you can't go to the race, but you feel like you're actually there.
Right.
And it's like, and
Right,
the sound effect guy would hit
Right.
and it's still, I haven't done it in the show in a while, but that's still, it's a classic. But my dad made it, and I was like, how did you make it? I said, my dad made it. He said, I can make this.
That's sweet, and I mean it. And
I didn't pay him anything.
I built my kids lots of stuff because I was a builder, and I liked it. I liked the process. I liked what it was. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I think it was sort of like the mom making you your favorite meal, and taking all day to do it kind of thing. Like, I thought that was cool. I've always done that. I've built my daughter. She wanted the raised bed with the drawers under it and all that kind of stuff, and I built her that. And then son, I built a loft bed and stuff, and I always thought that was cool. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing in that, and I don't want to sound corny, but it's kind of love language, which is I like doing stuff for people, like tangible stuff. The guys that just do all the wordsmithing, it's great, but I like the physical, like fixing stuff, like doing stuff like that to me, and I like the roles. I like the mom making the favorite cake for their birthday, and the dad in the garage making the gift.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine with that, and I like it, and I think there should be more of it, and I do think there's a sanity in it. Like when you're in your workshop and you're trying to put something together, and there's some like trial and error, and you're trying to figure it out, trying to kind of wrap your mind around it and design it. Like there's a real sanity in that. Like you're not out of this. You're not worried about what Hamas is up to. Or what Sydney Sweeney's doing. It's just here, workshop, tools, project, tangible.
Yeah, and my dad enjoyed that. He would love if I had something I could give him to fix. And if it was a coaster, I would give it. And my impression of my dad would be the same. I'd say, there's something wrong with this thing, and he would have a cigarette, and he'd go, and the smoke's going in his eyes, and he'd go, and he'd fix it. He'd come back 10 minutes later and go, there.
Right.
How did you do that? Like, I got it.
This summer, Pluto TV is exploding without
Radiator. Adam. Well, once you get good
This is broken, by the
at
way.
my coaster, once you get good at solving problems, it becomes kind of universal, sort of mechanically. I've realized, like when you're just good at sort of sussing out problems and fixing problems and whatever that is, and they all contribute. All the different projects of life sort of contribute. Then you kind of become an expert at almost everything. Like your dad wasn't kind of an expert at everything because he'd done such a variety of things, right? So he built the house you guys grew up in.
Yeah, and I did. We put on every damn tile, everything. One thing my dad was, I thought was kind of cool because my dad. I was at the age where I thought, of course, the Space Center was pretty cool. But I was at the age I didn't want to go to a launch. I didn't want to go. I wanted to watch TV. I wanted to play with my friends on my bikes. And he's, no, we're going to a launch. We're going to watch. And I don't know how old. We had gone to it was probably 13. And I'm like just miserable. And we're going to watch the launch. And
Is that Cape Canaveral?
Cape Canaveral. My dad, of course, is with all the astronauts, and we're just sitting there, and he says, all right, what do you want? What do you want? Because there's like tents. They had a beer tent, and they had like a soda, popcorn, candy, hot dogs, Coke tent. I said, I'll just take a hot dog and a Coke. And my dad looked at the line, at the beer line. There was 2 people in the beer line, and there was like 50 people waiting for the hot dog. So my dad says, "You're gonna have a beer."
How
And I
old
remember
were you?
13. Yeah, 13. And I remember thinking it was just funny because I'm like, my dad's gonna give me a beer.
Mhm.
My dad was not anywhere near cool enough to say you're gonna have beer, but he didn't want to wait in that line
Right.
to get a Coke. So he just hands me this beer, and I'm just like, okay. And he's like, well, try it. And I took I took a sip. He's like, no. I said, and don't tell your mom this, of course. But I drank, I don't know how much of it. I drank enough where I think I saw 3 launches. But, first you come home, the first thing, your mom says, how was the launch? I said, I had a beer.
Right, yeah.
I just told you not to.
Yeah. Yeah, the rat now.
But he built the which I digress a little bit, but one night we're at dinner table or something, and my dad was just stressed out. He just kept, I don't know, he just angered everybody. He kept storming out. And my mom's like, no, if he's working on something at work. So I went out to where he worked his workshop. So what are you working on? And he just looked at me like, do you want to know? And I said, yeah. So he takes this, and this is crazy. He takes this little thing out. He shows me the space shuttle and the 747.
Uh-huh.
And I said, okay, I've been watching that on TV. I saw him doing it. So he said, I have to invent, not just him, a whole bunch of engineers, his team, have to invent a clamp to hold the shuttle onto the 747.
Yeah.
Which they did out.
It's miraculous.
And then it has to release. They don't crash. It has to hold there's right now. Like my dad's like, it's got to hold the strength of the heaviness of the shuttle, which is 1 billion pounds, on top of 747, which is X amount of pounds. It's all numbers and graphs and charts, and you need numbers, and he said now it's got to release and then go up, and this goes, and the shuttle comes and then has to land. And I'm like, that's what you're stressed about? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't think it's that hard, Dad. He's like, it's a little hard. But that's the kind of shit my dad was like working on. And they actually made that clamp, and they landed out here at the California, them all
Edwards?
watching Edwards, yeah.
Yeah.
They're all watching. I remember my dad, like, he's at home, came home, he's like, he looked over me, he said, worked. I said, I remember you in the workshop with your ruler and your numbers and your calculator. And
That's crazy. Yeah. First off, I just went and looked at the shuttle that was at the Intrepid Museum in New York recently. I brought my son, and I was like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
The space shuttle is insane because it's big, and it's heavy, and it rides on top of a 747, which sounds insane. And it weighs so much. That's when you really realize what a 747 can do. But the wings on the space shuttle offer lift as well. So it's not just the 747 lifting the entire weight of the shuttle. The shuttle's lifting itself because of its wings. But the thing that's crazy about the shuttle is when it comes back into Earth's orbit, it'll be like over Spain or something. And then it gotta land in the Mojave Desert. And it has no power. It just glides.
Right. No, it just glides.
So you better get your calculations right. Because you're over Ecuador or something, and you're going to land in the Mojave Desert, and you can't go around again. No, you don't have power.
No, you get one shot.
You get one land.
Like landing on the moon. That was one shot at that. They got one shot.
And at the very end,
they're not going to come down.
This thing that weighs as much as 40 Cadillac SUVs or 140 or 1,000, it just comes in at the very end. They just flare and it just touches down
it's magical.
ever so softly.
It's elegant.
So your dad was on the team that designed that clamp, which is crazy because you got to clamp it and you got to release it.
Right.
And
that's embedded over my headboard, by the way.
You got to clamp and release, and you cannot damage the fuselage of.
It's a delicate piece of. The whole thing is just unbelievable. That's what it is. It's magic. It's like, and then people say, "Oh, I didn't really land on the moon." Oh, I find that funny too because I'm one of those guys that like if there's a billion people that worked at the Space Center since the '60s.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been one person that actually worked there that came out like a whistleblower that said we didn't.
I feel like someone would come forward.
I think someone would come forward, but I think we
Yeah.
landed on the mess. I think was it Buzz Aldrin? They just fucking clocked that guy when he came out of the hotel. Oh, yeah, you really didn't land on the moon. You fucking just got
Buzz is up. I think I did my first Toyota Long Beach Celebrity Grand Prix with Buzz Aldrin.
Awesome.
He was a feisty old
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, he punched this guy right and just knocked him right out.
He was what I would call serious.
Yeah.
He was a serious guy. Back when men used to be serious,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, they actually had hair in the chest. I don't know.
Now they're all just wearing Van slip-ons and have all their rope bracelets and shit, and they're drinking their energy drinks, and they're not serious anymore. But he comes from a place where he was serious.
Yeah.
And he was like, I remember once I saw him, and you'd see him, and then you'd see him again. I go, Buzz, where are you doing? I was at an F-80 convention. Best airplane ever made. Like, I was like, okay, all right, sorry. Like, you almost punched me. Can Buzz Aldrin still be alive?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the last time I saw when he punched that guy out was not that long ago. He might still be alive. I think he's still alive.
He's falling under the heading of he's too old to still be alive, but on the other hand, if he was dead, we'd know.
Yeah, that's one of the...
But he could have died during COVID. And anyone who died during COVID, I have no
He's still alive. He's still alive.
Is he like 93 or something? He blew up like 3 Toyota engines, by the way. Yeah, he just 95 years young, still punching
That's
out.
That's what we always
naysayers.
think. We have that, we all do that backstage, but just someone the other day just died. I said, he's already dead. They said, no, he's not dead.
Yeah.
I thought like Check My Johnny was dead like 30 years ago. And they go, no.
Lonnie Anderson was dead. Yeah. Yeah, it's
we always do it. I'm like, oh, they're not?
No, but when you start realizing, you got Norm and all these people, you go like, all right, well, who's the next class of dead people? And I think you're talking to them. Well, that's going to be the next wave.
I mean,
we do the math, right?
We're not you and me. We're still young pups. But
but you guys listening. Buzz competed in 03. Yeah, I think that was the first year I did it. I don't think it was that good, but it was very earnest.
Yeah, I would think he would be.
But your dad was a serious guy.
Oh yeah.
But he made you props for your show.
Well, once a few. Yeah.
A few.
I had to make one that was really intense. I don't know how he did this, but there's a briefcase. I had the joke in my head. So the senator that was at the airport that tapped his toe to get
in the bathroom stall.
Which already is like, I didn't even understand that story. Like, what is going on? Who goes to an airport bathroom and has the code where you tap your toe and you get it?
How long
would you have to... And why are you a senator? And why is this happening? And how is this happening?
How long would you have to sit on a toilet in a Minneapolis airport before a like-minded gay gent pulled up in the stall next to you?
No. So the joke was and I did it on the Tonight Show. It was great because they zoomed in. It was great. So I had it in my head. Oh, it's a briefcase, but I'm shooting way far. Like I'm not going to get this prop made, right? It would be amazing. There's a briefcase for a senator. That's what I'm thinking. And this leg comes down, and a pant leg, a dress leg, and a dress shoe, and it taps, and it comes back up into the briefcase.
Right. That's a tall order.
Right. And I call a couple prop builders, and they're like, what? And my dad says, what is it again? Same thing. I faxed a picture to him, drawing, and here's the arrow of it coming up, down. You make a button that taps, and then the other button pulls it back up.
Right.
And he made it. And then I do it on the Tonight Show, and it's so topical because it just happened. So I said, Dad, there's a time limit on this thing. Like I need it like in an hour, He said,
you're already booked for the Tonight Show at this point?
I was booked, and I.
What year was this?
Whatever year.
Whatever the story was.
Yeah. It was that week. And my dad, of course, is in Cape Canaveral. I said, just make it, ship it to me. But I'm doing the Tonight Show on, Monday. And I just needed that because it was the current joke.
Yeah.
And it just showed up, and I did it, and it was the camera guy. He rehearsed it, and the guy they killed. And of course, the camera guy zoomed in, and you see him go boom, 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 boom. And it was great. And then you appreciate it. Hey, come out, how do you do this? How did they come out?
I want to see it.
Do they sell those? I'm like, no, they don't. Yeah.
Well, Jay's a rancher. He should appreciate it.
Oh no, he's a great friend of mine. Jay's been sweeter than any other. He always has been grateful to me, just gracious to me.
Jay's great.
Always, anytime I needed to do the show, I would do it. And he would, then a couple times I'd be back after the show, and he says, yeah. I said, thanks for always, you give me, like, I was on like every 4 weeks or something, I would have a new set. And he goes, well, you always bring the good. And I said, every time I get comedians, they come up to me in the airport, and I'm like, what are you doing? Karen Tom. I said, oh, I'm sorry. He goes, no, I tell him, I tell him? I said, because he always brings the goods. He always writes the jokes. I call you, you show up, you do your thing. That's a horrible joke, though. And,
that's right.
But then he falls down, Jay, he falls off a mountain going to a Sizzler or something, whatever the hell it was. He goes on stage with blood all over himself. He just goes on stage and he's like, well, the show must go on. Well, you go home and you go to the hospital. You take a day off. No,
When he burned himself up, he didn't go. He went home.
He went home.
Yeah.
I just saw him in Vegas a month ago, and I came back, and he still has a little bit of the scar from falling down. I said, by the way, how are you? I said, no, with the when you fell. He goes, I said, well, but I watched all the clips. I said, you had like this huge. He said, yeah. I said, but you went on stage. He goes, yeah. I said, why did you? Why I wouldn't go if I broke my finger. I told him I wouldn't go on stage. I said, I got to cancel. I got to fix my nail. He's like, no, you do it. I said, but you have blood on you. Did the crowd not, like, react? He goes, he just goes up there like, yeah, forget the blood. I just fell down a mountain. Yeah.
He's very stoic.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
He called me 2 weeks ago or something, and he just called, like, I think it was a Thursday or Friday, and he just goes, yeah, are you going to be at the Pabst Theater in Milwaukee Sunday night? I go, yeah. He goes, I got some friends who, they sold me a Dodge Dart. Anyway, here's the name. Make sure they're on there. I want to make sure they want to make sure they want to, they're big fans. They want to meet you backstage. They sold me a Dodge Dart.
They got me a Dodge Dart.
Yeah. And he made sure that these people got to go hang out.
Oh, that's great.
Backstage. That's just who he is.
That's great. Just great.
I agree.
I get to fly in his jet back to. We did the show one night, and I made a joke.
You did a show
on the Tonight Show, and I was going back to Vegas that night to do a show. I had come in, so I went back. The makeup room's right across from my thing. So everyone was leaving, and I said to the makeup lady, she goes, "You going back now?" And I said, "Yeah, I have a show tonight." And she goes, well, "I have a show tonight." And I said, "Where's your? You just did a show." He goes, "No, in Vegas." Is your show tonight in Vegas? And I said, "Yeah." He says, "You want to just go on the jet?" And I'm like, "Now, sure." And he's like, "We're going right now. We'll go with that." So I'm like, me and my assistant, I said, "All right." And I gave him like my train ticket from Southwest. He said, "No. And I give that $20 for the gas. He's like, "No, yeah." So we get on the jet, and we're just flying, and he's Jay. He's just his head is so goddamn big. It's great. It's just Jay Leno. He's just one of those people that I've known him for years, but I'm just looking at him, and he's sitting there, and it had my notebook. It said Carrot Top. Like, I don't know what. It's so surreal. There's Carrot Top, and there's Jay. And we hit the worst turbulence ever going into Vegas, and he's sleeping, and I'm like holding the thing, and we're just jumping back, and I look at my sister back, and I'm like, I'm dear God, this is, oh my God. And Jay just on the he just looks over, and I was making a joke. I was going to put it, because he was sleeping, I was going to put a peanut like in his mouth. I take a picture of his peanut in his mouth. I wasn't really going to do it, but I was like, let's take a video of it. Anyway, so he says, it's bumpy. I said, yeah, it's a little bumpy. You think all right? I said, no, I really am not. And he goes, well, it's probably an old line, but it worked on me. He goes, you know what happened? He said, we crashed. The newspaper's gonna say Jay Leno dies with 2 unknowns. And I said, well, I said, I could have done Letterman. I would have been known. I did pick you over that. Kind of gives one of those. Jay never just gives you a laugh. He just kind of goes,
Yeah.
You kind of a knowledge of like, okay, good one.
Yeah,
I said, I was on your show, I'm known. I said, just if I did Letterman, oh my God, I'd be household known. He was like,
You ever do Letterman?
Yeah.
How many times did you do Letterman?
I did probably. Well, I did a lot of skits with him. A lot of skits where we would, like, it was great, and he always was nice to me. Always the same thing. He was strange with and I mean, right? Everyone knows David Letterman, but
See, you know, I learned a lot from Letterman, in that you can kind of, I told everyone, you can kind of tell who Ellen was because her staff was scared, you know, and so when people are scared who work for you, it says something about you. And I worked with a guy named Daniel who was worked on the Man Show, and he was kind of one of Letterman's favorite guys during that time, and he came up with all these funny ideas, and they like hung out, and then he always used to tell me, you know, Letterman was a great guy, and I think he was in many respects, but at some point I ended up doing Letterman, and Daniel, who was working on the Man Show with me, came with me as a kind of a homecoming return to Letterman. So he'd been with Letterman for 10 years, and then he left, and he did Rosie O'Donnell's show, who she said she's the absolute, she's the worst. Maybe Ellen could give her a run, but anyway, that was a cutie patootie chub club era. That's when people thought Rosie was nice because she was overcompensating. But anyway, then he went to he did Vibe, and then he did the Man Show, and so we came back, and I went out. I was doing panel, but I crushed it. I put together a whole thing, and Dave loved it, and it was a whole. I was doing stand up, but sitting down, but I worked out a whole bit. And the audience loved it, and everything was great. And we got back to my dressing room, and everyone was like, "Oh, great set! You know, it's great, it's great." And then Daniel, who's the most upfront, kind of forward guy I've ever met, like he's the only guy. When we were doing the Man Show, we'd go to strip clubs, run up a bill for like $2,000. Just drinking and hanging out, and then we'd give the bill to the producers.
Nice.
And go, we were doing a recon for Juggies, you know, we're scouting talent, you know, and they'd go, look at me like you guys were just drinking. And it's like, well, we're working, so you pay, right? Daniel's the most ballsy guy in the world, because when we gave this receipt to Stone Stanley for $2,000 for us hanging out at a strip club doing nothing, they said to us, they go, we will pay this time, but we're not going to underwrite you guys hanging out at strip clubs drinking.
Right.
This is not work. And when they told us that, me and Jimmy were like, okay, good, we get our, get the money. But Daniel like stood up and he went, fuck that. We're going to their office and we're gonna this is bullshit. And I was like, I'm not gonna go in there and start yelling at them for not paying for booze at a strip club when all we're doing is hanging around and drinking at a strip club. You know, I'm not getting up. I'm not that bold. You know, and he was outraged. He's like, we're going in there right now. So that's the kind of guy he was. When we finished with Letterman, we're in my dressing room, and like some guy, segment producer or something, like came back, and the segment producer was like, oh, it's a good killer set, what great night, blah, blah, blah. Daniel got sheepish, and he went to the guy. He's like, is Dave up in his office? And the guy's like, yeah, he's up there. You think it'd be cool if I went up and said hi? Or the guy's like, I don't know.
Oh, Letterman.
Yeah, Letterman. And at a certain point, I could see him wrestling with it. Like, I don't know what kind of mood's he going to be in or whatever. And at some point, he just went, I don't think I'm going to go. I'm not going up there. Let's just go to dinner. And we did. But I would say to him all the time, stop saying he's a cool guy.
Right.
Because if that's Leno or Jimmy Kimmel or anybody, and you were a favorite, you went and you produced a hit TV show, and now you come back, you just walk right up
and say hi.
Say hi. Yeah. Anyone I know would do that, but not Letterman.
Well, I would say that's the only thing that I knew about doing the show is that it was very, very scared crew. eggshells, right?
Yeah.
So I had done it one time, and I was there, and there's that little green room, and then he comes down from the elevator, and they clear that room out so he can go on stage.
Right.
So they're like, oh, we have to get everybody out. Dave's coming down. So I said, oh, okay, and they're like, paranoid.
Right.
So we move out of this room. He goes by. I'm standing kind of like out of the way. He goes by, and he said, "Thanks for doing this." And I remember he had a ball cap on, very tan. It's weird. Do you remember? Just so tan, tall, a ball cap, a pencil, and his cigar, and he said, in his way, like, "Thanks for doing this." And I said, "Are you kidding me?" And I said something like, "This is the best thing in my life," or something. And he goes out the door to the stage. We all go back in the room. He comes back in. He looks right. He says, "The best day of your life?" All right. And the girl, they freaked out. I've never seen a staff go, "He never does that."
Yeah.
I go, "What? He never speaks to anybody. He must really like you. Like, he would never not only say anything to you, but he wouldn't come back in a second time and address you." So he always was nice to me. He never was.
Yeah. He was nice. He
He
was
probably
nice to
liked
me
me.
too.
He probably, I mean, I'm just saying that they were scared of him.
Yeah, they were scared of him.
Not scared of Jay. Like, "Hey, Jay, yeah." They could care less. They say right in front of Jay, "It's not your show." I said, "What's this? This Tonight Show with Jay Leno." "It's not his show. You can't do the joke." And I'm like, "But I."
Yeah, no, they didn't. No fear of Jay.
One clip I got to tell you about the Tonight Show.
Fear
Is my
of
favorite clip of.
Wait, I wanted to see the clip of the shoe and the suitcase.
One of that would be. I know if it's not on the Tonight Show for sure. I know there was one. Oh my God, what was the show? I think I did a guest spot as a celebrity guest spot on the Last Comic. Me and Louis Anderson came out and did like a.
Louis.
We did like a carrot. So we did this guest thing where we came out and did like we were the pros, and then they had great comics, Catholic Madigans, these great comics. And that I remember doing it, and I remember the camera zoomed in on it really nicely on that one too. So that one and the Tonight Show one. This is my favorite Tonight Show.
What would you Google in to find this?
Oh God, hilarious. Carrot Top, Last Comic Standing, because I was only on it.
Briefcase.
Senator Briefcase foot prop.
Okay.
I mean, it might come up.
Was Mel Gibson the other guest?
On the Tonight Show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was?
Yeah.
All right, then
It might be on that one.
Probably found that episode. Yeah. Yeah, that was... I still never got to the bottom of it. The guy's in a Minneapolis airport bathroom
no one ever
stall.
got to the bottom. I mean, the guy got to the bottom of something. But, yeah. I just thought this is a prop. I got to do it. Yeah, Mel Gibson was, because he had a kiln, and I came out with a kiln. You found it? All right, let's see if we can find it.
All right, let's see if we can see how the camera works on the like. What year would you estimate this to be?
Yeah. 2005? 2005?
2005. Is that late? I don't know. 95?
95, yeah.
Off by full
I'm old as dirt. Shit, could be 90. I was on with Jack Parr.
All right, let's see if we can find this.
The other one, while we look for it, I'll tell you was...
and your dad built this?
Yeah.
That is so cool. And he, like, overnighted it to you.
Yeah.
Strapped it to a 747 and
Yeah.
slided it right into the studio. Jesus Christ. Listen, let me say something about parents and dads and stuff I want to say. I get a lot of people going, I don't get anything, my dad's always at work or something, it's tough on me or whatever, something. And then they start telling stories and it doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah,
it sounds
right.
pretty,
No, I know.
it sounds pretty good.
Right, it wasn't. I mean, Dad was the hardest, but it worked out. I mean, I worked my brother, we both worked out to be okay. I think the discipline is actually very important.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I think we did.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, if I did home school and I didn't, was home by streetlights out, I was getting my ass whooped.
No, there's a reason for it. It's good. All right, sorry. The clip, here it
See
is.
if they got it.
Simply safe. Wow. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
That's what my grandpa used to say. That's how simply safe.
Don't wait.
Second, please give a warm welcome to Carrot
Oh
Top.
God, I'm probably 12 and then, hi everybody. Oh, I had a kilt. See, he had a kilt on. He had a kilt on, and I came out in a
Oh
kilt,
my
and I made it a
God.
prop. Look, wait, I make it a prop. See
How
that?
did you do the kilt that fast?
Well, watch. I had a watch. I made it backstage. I said, night kilt, and then I made him into pants.
As you can see, not all men look good in dresses, as you can see.
Because he had this big hairy legs.
Wow. I come from North Carolina, though. If I was caught wearing a dress, I'd be killed. So I made this as an invention. You just pull these things down like that.
I like
You
voice.
see
I'm
it.
talking like, hey.
Oh, that's right.
I made it right for the show.
All
Yeah.
right. I got tons of stuff.
I hope
as usual.
they
Check it out.
have the
This is
briefcase.
so dogs won't sniff your... Well, anyway, I didn't think you had the point there.
I don't even know what
Get
that
down,
is.
boy.
What?
Get down. Get down.
That's
No,
a
all right, one time.
spaghetti
Okay, get down.
colander on a belt.
Yeah, but I don't know what the hell the joke was.
Dog's not sniffing your junk.
But anyway,
Oh, and that's one for me. Okay, 'cause I have
yeah,
a
the
small
small
dick.
one
See,
for
yeah,
Pete.
okay. I hope the briefcase one comes because it's.
Here's a baseball bat for replacement players, so they'll get a hit. Come on now, hit the ball.
Oh, I had a better one though because he used to have a clacker on it.
Oh, replacement.
I got
What's
another
from
one
the
too. I
strike
just made
thing?
this one. This is for really bad baseball players. This way they sound like they get a hit at least.
And see, the drummer shouldn't have hit the fucking cymbal when I did
You
it.
are 100% right.
Where'd he go?
Because it's sticked on the
punchline was
sound.
the
Right.
crack.
That way you never strike out. You always get a foul tip. I hit it. I hit part of 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 it. And of course, baseball is back, but attendance is way
I
down.
know,
So I
I've
made
watched the
this for
whole
fans
set,
to wear at the
jeez.
park. This way, there's more people in the audience.
All right, you can fast forward
Yeah,
to...
see if we can find. Yeah, see if we can find.
I don't mind watching this, but I do
Your
want to see the
audience is
briefcase.
probably yeah.
Yeah, it's a
No,
visual.
the briefcase is hopefully it's you know.
Well, you guys have to look for the... You look for the briefcase and you...
And why you? I tell you that my favorite Tonight Show. And so they have the.
How many times you do the
standard-
Tonight
I
Show?
don't know, like 30 something.
Wow.
Standards and practices lady. She loved me and hated me. Same woman been there for 1,000
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
I show
Talk
up
to
and
her.
I would do my rehearsal and she's like, oh, you can't, no.
Yeah.
So I have this Bill Clinton podium. It's like my closing bit.
Right.
It's a podium that's got a buzzer on the. It's got true false, and I'd have buttons. You go. I did not have. I
Right.
did bing ding right.
Right.
So, it's funny enough. It's good, but then I thought I need the big punchline. So, but up from behind comes Monica Lewinsky,
Head.
behind the thing. So the big ending is.
Right.
I did not have, and then his head. It's a beret, the whole beret,
Right,
the whole.
right.
And the vision. I say, not now.
Right,
And
right,
I
right.
close
right.
the end, and it destroys.
You're right.
Rehearsal, they're going nuts. And Jay's like, he's sitting over there, honey. And then she comes over. She's like, everything. I said, everything's good. I've never had him say everything's good, all good. She said, only one thing. I just think you get a podium. She's yeah. She's just you just can't force her head down. I said, what do you mean? She's like, you can't put your hand on top to push it down.
It can come up,
It can come up,
but you can't push it down. Right.
So I say to the prop guys, can you rig something? I had a foot pedal. Can you rig it where it goes up and then it goes down? And they're it's an hour for the show. They're like, no. And I'm up there. It's live, and I do it. It's the last joke, and the fucking head comes up. And I use my elbow because they said I can't use my hand. I got so much trouble. I mean, trouble in a sense. I mean, kill. But then they said we had to bleep it out on the West Coast. I'm like, what? Because you can't.
Yeah.
So even the East Coast saw me force her head. I didn't force it down. Just went like, not now. Not now.
Right.
But she said you can't use your hand. So I'm thinking, all right, I'll use my elbow.
Yeah, it's a
It worked.
weird technical stuff.
Yeah.
Always nuts with the censorship. It's so funny. I turn on Fox or CNN, watch the news, and people are just cussing away.
Oh yeah, no.
They
no.
were always insane
Yeah.
about that. And
Yeah, innuendo even, yeah. And you watch you like that the whole bit was a BJ joke, and then I can't say, you know what I mean? It was like the whole bit would be,
Yeah.
and mine was just silly. They're like, the whole monologue was about a blowjob. How come I can't say?
yeah, it's almost like they needed to intervene at some point.
Right.
When Jimmy and I did Crank Yankers, the puppet show, it was called Prank Puppets. And And at some point, we got on the phone with the standards and the legal team at Comedy Central, and they're like, we can't use prank puppet. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, it implies some malice, like we could get sued or something. And I was like, first off, when you do a show, you give it a name so you know what it is.
Sure.
Right? And we just been calling it prank. We got to do, so-and-so's going to work on prank puppets, and we get this guy writing on it, whatever. We called it prank puppets for a long time, and then at the end, we're getting ready to launch, and they're like, can't call it prank puppets. And I was like, I don't get, what do you mean prank puppet? Why can't you can't do it? And they're like legal team shit. And me and Jimmy were on the phone with these guys, and we were in New York, and I think I was in his hotel room, and I was going nuts. I was going insane. I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, if we ever get sued, and they bring up the name, it's going to a lot of liability for us. I was like, you better hope they bring up prank and puppet, and that says no damages. It's got the word prank and puppet in it, and it was weird, but I realized sometimes I think they just feel like they got to flex a little bit. Like, I can't sit here and do nothing show after show. At some point, I have to, like, intervene or object or something, because otherwise, what am I doing here?
Right.
But, yeah, it's funny, the nuance of it all. None of it makes sense. None of it lives anywhere. We used to get in arguments with Comedy Central on underwear versus underpants and stuff like that. Like, I don't even know what we said to them once, how much ass crack can we show? And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you watch SNL in the 70s, and Dan Aykroyd's playing the Norgeman, repairman, or whatever. They're showing ass crack. So they're showing like 1.5 inches of ass crack. But at some point, it becomes 8 inches ass crack, and that's a bare ass.
Right.
And they go, we'll get back to you. And they go, 3/4 ass crack. You can show 3/4 ass crack. So immediately, Daniel, the guy who didn't want to talk to the Letterman, so he goes, we need 3/4 ass crack shorts for all the junkies.
No, you're right. They have to come in somehow. We did AT&T commercials forever, and one of the #1 rated ones that I had was, I would say, call down the center with 1-800, whatever, CALAG. It's free for you and cheap for them, which is, And I took the phone. I was free for you and cheap for them, and I hit the payphone with it. I said, free for you and cheap for them. It's that easy. And instead of hanging the phone up, I just banged the thing, and I guess kids just thought that was great. And AT&T lost their minds. They said, you can't. We had to pull the thing and not run it because you were defacing the property, our product.
Right.
I'm like, but the kids laughed. It's like the jean one. I mean, what is it with the jeans and the chick and the jeans? What is the problem here? I don't understand the whole problem.
Yeah,
I don't understand the
Eventually, it all goes away.
Oh, of course it does.
And then nobody cares.
But then again, it's like, is it just because people just have nothing else to do? They have to have something now. They need a new topic. So, oh my God, now we're going to go up in arms. We're going to start defacing jean ads.
Oh,
It's
Sydney
people burning
Sweeney.
down the jean
Yeah.
ads, throwing shit at the jean ad in New York. It's like it's a goddamn jean ad. Like nothing's different than what we've always had. And it's a dumb ad.
Everything.
Eyes up here.
Yeah,
Right? Or something out of it.
Everything is symbolic. We're still looking for the shoe.
Oh yeah, it's got dang it.
Well, maybe last no, was it last?
It was Last Comic Standing. If it's not on that Jay Leno one.
Well, so here's the thing. We live in a society that doesn't really have problems in the sense that poor people have cell phones and big screen TVs and can eat sushi. You know what I mean? Like, poor people used to traditionally not be able to participate in lots of things. But if you have a cell phone, you're pretty much richer than anybody who was around 50 years ago. I mean, in terms of your life. Like, it's a device that's insane. And, you know, the chasm, I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing. Like, when we were young, there was rich people and there were poor people. And we were like poor people, so we didn't have air conditioning.
Right.
But rich people had air conditioning. And we'd have cars that ran well. But they had cars that ran well. And they had, lots of stuff. Now, you're poor. I mean, poor, you work. You know what I mean? But you still go out and eat. You still have a TV with all the streaming services, and you got your smartphone, and you got your, you driving a, Leonardo DiCaprio drives a Toyota Prius, like why not? Who cares? Air conditioning, satellite radio. But we had like problems back then. Now we don't really have problems. And when you take away the problems, people start fixating on stuff. Like, if your problem is like malaria and clean water and shelter, then you don't care what Sweeney's up to.
Right.
And you don't really care about gene ads because you got kind of bigger fish to fry, But we've eliminated a lot of that stuff. And also there's a lot of people that are just sort of weirdly activated. Like they're just walking around with their head on a swivel looking
For something. Yeah,
for
something to bitch
something.
about,
And
something.
I'm like, why are you reading everything into nothing?
Right.
Why? All right, it's a gene ad. Buy the jeans or don't buy the
because
jeans.
it becomes like, right, exactly. It also becomes a big social media sensation, and then everyone jumps on it. So because most people, if you ask them, like, what happened to jeans? What are you talking about? Like,
Well, also, you don't need to have a real strong opinion on everything.
see, I have skinny jeans for fat guys. That's a great prop.
Right.
It's a big pair of jeans, and it's got little skinny jeans that are sewn in the middle. So it looks when you wear them, you look like you have. That's a
Right.
great prop.
So you sit around, you think of these things,
Yeah.
and you go to your workshop.
Yeah.
And now that your dad's passed,
Yeah.
you got to farm some of it
Yeah.
out. Some of the mechanical stuff.
Yeah, I have a prop guy in town that does pretty amazing stuff in Vegas. I can go to him and he'll I'll get it to you.
Does he bid it, or does he just go, this is time and materials?
No, for that.
'Cause how do you bid, something like a foot coming out of it?
I paid for some things, prop things in the past, like a lot, for a big intense prop. This guy he'll just, for a beer, he'll do it. He'll say, he works on my crew. He's like, give me an hour, I'll make it. And he comes up with it. He goes and finds the motors and finds, like I said, it's always engineering ones. Otherwise, I can build it myself. I usually make them all myself.
Yeah.
But if I can't get it, if it's really like that you'll see if we ever find the shoe and it's intense.
Well, NBC, The Last Comic Standing, is scrubbed.
Oh, it's not there.
It's not on the internet. Some companies don't put their stuff on the internet.
One time I did anything I'm trying to find. I was on Regis and Kathleen with Trump, and it's just a great clip because I come out.
What year, approximately?
Again, that's going back. Well, here's the weird thing. You can find it'll say Carrot Top, Donald Trump, Angela Featherstone or Silverstone, the actress.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no clip.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they have the thing. So I called ABC and I said, that I've been doing that show, Kelly, whatever, the Regis and whatever now it's called, thousands of shows.
Alicia Silverstone.
And so it says Alicia Silverstone, Carrot Top, Donald Trump. I mean, it's like in the text.
Right.
So I said, can I just get the clip? And they said, what do you want? I said, I just want to show it in my show because it's kind of cool. I walk out and Donald Trump says to me, shakes my hand. And I said, it's great. I said to him, it's great to be in a show where I don't have the dumbest hair. And he just thought that was the crazy. And he went, what? And everyone laughed. And he made me like touch his hair. Like he kept. I said, no, I'm good. No, touch it. And he took my hand. And he made me like this. And I said, okay, now tell everybody. And I said, tell him what? He said, tell him it's real. I said, I didn't say it was not real. I said it was dumb hair.
Right.
And it would just be such a great clip, but the ABC won't give it. And they said, we can't give it to you because, like you just said, if you ever air it, we're putting you in prison, that kind of thing. I'm like, oh, for God's sakes. I just want it for my archives.
Right.
And they said, okay, but you can't ever air it then. I'm like, I can show it my show. No.
Really?
Like, well, so at one point I'm like, all right, I'm just not going to show it, and then I'm going to show it.
Yeah. Well, again,
they're
it's
gonna
just
take me to jail. I'm not good in jail, probably, by the way.
it's just rules, but they don't really.
I'm not cute to you, but in prison I might be. Yeah.
Oh, I'd say you're prison
I'd be,
8.5 for sure.
I'd be carrot bottom. Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you, you'd make a good prisoner because you're crafty.
Yeah,
And I'd be like,
I built something to get us out of here, you guys. I got this. You know.
I'd be like, cook up some Pruno in the toilet, would you? I want to catch a buzz. And yeah, let's break out of this place. All right, let's see. Legacy media is dying. Yeah, someone wrote that on there. But yeah, this is why it drives me nuts, because I've tried to look for stuff and it gets scrubbed and they act like something's going to happen if you air it in your show, but nothing will ever happen. Well, what'll happen is people will laugh and enjoy it.
You guys can find, if you want just something, they can't find the leg one. The Gallagher probably will come up, Carrot Top Gallagher, where he comes on stage and pushes me.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
Somehow we got hold of Gallagher late in his life, and he was building some sort of trapeze on his property where he like bungeed himself like back and forth, and he just kind of lost it.
Yeah.
I guess. And at the end, he seemed like he got angry, and it just, it's also weird and sad, you know what I mean, that you have to be, I was just watching this Beach Boys doc I was telling you about, like somehow, you know, Brian Wilson's dad sold all the publishing rights to all the songs and never informed anyone, and sold it for $700,000, probably worth $100 million. And you know, this guy wasn't talking to that guy, and then that guy sued this guy. And it's always like, why? Why does it have to end this way?
Yeah.
Why is it always this? Can't you just be the Beach Boys?
I want to sell my catalog, you know, all my props. That'd be a great bit.
Oh, my
That'd be a
God.
great bit, you know. Carrot Top's, it'd be something silly like it's like all literally $19.95
Just
for all of it. I mean,
the
just
suitcase
all
with the
shit.
foot in it, just for the parts alone, is worth several $1,000s. I parted out, but yeah.
That was like Louis Anderson's bit when he says about going to the yard sale with his mom. One of my favorite bits he would do, and I'm going to mess it up. He said, we're at the yard sale, and my mom says, how much for the toaster? And they said, it's $5. And he says, $5, you should get it. And his mom's like, that's too much. And he goes, the cord alone is worth $5.
Right. We have Gallagher on stage with you.
Here we go.
Now, when was this?
Oh, God. I wish I knew. I'm horrible at years, as you know. I think it's 2025 now, right?
Yeah.
So this would be probably 10 years ago?
All right.
Maybe. So I come out. I had just done my finale. I don't know why I have my shirt is off, because I did something. And here comes Gallagher. And he shows me on the ground all the way down the thing. He comes out, grabs a watermelon, and then he comes out, and then he yells at me and says it was horrible. It says the stupidest thing that I've ever done. And the crowd, you hear the crowd, they're going crazy. It's Gallagher. And then he yells at me afterwards. He physically threw me to the ground. And for me, as being one of my favorite comedians in the world, he came to the show, like I told you, 5 days in a row, and he wore that same shirt.
Yeah.
And he had not only holes in it, there was like food on it. He was a wreck.
He was in decline.
And I said, hey, and I could never say this in a mean, I'd say, hey, if I got you I didn't want to say, you've been in the same shirt 5 days. I said, if I got you a Carrot Top, no, I said, nice shirt. And he goes, well, if I had a Carrot Top shirt, I said, if you had one, you'd wear one? He goes, yeah. And so the guy's got a Carrot, and that was my favorite part of the whole watching that clip was, you know, Gallagher, who when I was 11, 12 years old, was trying to admire and write jokes, and was wearing my logo. I'm like, this is cool, you know, him wearing my shirt. It was just, can't believe Gallagher.
What year did Gallagher die? And
boy, not that 3 years ago.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You'd say 3 years, but it's probably 9 years ago or something like that.
No, it's probably.
Well, you would know.
I think
you're
it's
a big
3
Gallagher
because
fan.
I do a tribute. I did a tribute to him.
Oh, you did a tribute to him, so you would know.
I have it in my show. I do a whole story about meeting him and going to the show, and it's a crazy bit. And I made this prop that it's a watermelon explosion thing, and it took a year to make it.
A year?
Yeah.
You're right. 3 years ago. You're right.
And the night that I did it, he died.
Oh, really?
I did it that night, and it just killed. It was like this huge finale thing. You know, I came out, and strobes are going crazy, and there's a watermelon, but it's a machine. It's like it weighs like 8,000 pounds, and the hammer itself weighs about 90 pounds. Because you have to hit this thing for it to go off and explode.
Right.
It just shoots all this shit out of the crowd. I do it, and I'm like, I waited a year, almost 3 years actually. I thought I wrote it during COVID, so 5 years ago. So I finally do it. Boom! It's this amazing ending, and we're all backstage going, holy moly, this is a great ending to the show now. I woke up the next morning and my phone was blowing up. Gallagher died. And I remember thinking, you gotta be kidding me, because I was just gonna invite him out to see it.
Really?
And I make jokes that night. I said, he's either gonna love it or he's gonna sue me.
Right.
Because that was him.
Right.
He'd go, I don't get it. And
Right.
I'd say, it's an homage to you. He
Right.
would say, I don't get the stupid, why are you hitting a water? Because I tell the whole story about you and then the thing, and then he just wouldn't have gotten it. He probably would have been really angry with me.
Jimmy Kimmel and I wrote a full-length feature screenplay called Kill Gallagher.
Oh, how great.
Yeah.
I love it already. Kill Gallagher.
It was a crazy story. I've said it a few times. I won't bore everybody. But it was basically some impoverished tribe that was in some sun-blasted part of Africa. And it started with all the dead crops and everything. It hadn't rained in a year, and everyone's impoverished and everyone's emaciated and whatever. And it actually began because there was a band called Dishwalla.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they came in to Loveline once, and Drew said, where'd you get the name Dishwalla? And they said, well, that's what they call the guys who set up the satellite dish in these faraway, impoverished places. So one guy's a satellite. And all of a sudden, they're in this no man's land, and all of a sudden, they're watching Dynasty and Falcon Crest and stuff. And it's just got to be weird. And Drew said, imagine watching a Gallagher concert.
Yeah.
And it's all these people emaciated, no
I know,
food,
and they're
everything's
watching
crap, and he's holding up. And so the thing was like, he'd hold a giant watermelon up, and the whole village would be staring at the TV. He'd go, oh yes, and he'd put it down and like, what? And then he'd mash it.
Yeah.
And at some point, they were all outraged.
Right.
And they were like, this is insane. And they really thought he was like a produce smashing god. And he was the reason they had drought, no rain, and whatever. Like, if they could get rid of,
you can still make that.
and they took the fucked up, the one fuck up brave, the screwed up guy, and they're like, give him all our belongings, go find him in Las Vegas, and go kill Gallagher.
Go kill Gallagher. I like it. That's a good movie.
Simultaneously, there was another kid in Michigan who was like a teenage virgin. It was like a 17, 18-year-old virgin. He had his jack-off buddy with him, and they were watching the Gallagher concert at the same time. And the guy kept saying, the older cool guy, it's like, we got to get you laid. And he's like, I'm in this little town in Michigan. Everyone knows me. It's not going to work. No one likes me. And they're like, if you could get to Vegas, they got call girls there. They have Bunny Ranch. It's like, if you get us to Vegas, and they're like, we don't have any money. We don't have anything. And it's like, then a Make-A-Wish Foundation commercial comes on. And I go, what if we said you were sick and you wanted to see Gallagher? Like, as your dying request. So now the Make-A-Wish guy's showing up to see Gallagher at the Gallagher concert, along with the Warrior guy who's going to try to kill him at the same time. And, hilarity ensues.
Yeah.
But it was called Kill Gallagher.
That's a good movie.
I would watch that movie.
Yeah. Did you ever see Dave Chappelle, Black Gallagher?
No, I never
sake.
saw
You can find that. You'll lose your mind. Yeah,
Black Gallagher?
Well,
And
Dave
look at the
Chappelle-
watermelon,
Dave Chappelle. It's just he's Black Gallagher. He's got the mountain, but it's Dave Chappelle, and he's just like, it's brilliant. Yeah, Black Gallagher. Yeah,
Black Gallagher.
Dave Chappelle, Black Gallagher.
Dude, that exists somewhere.
Oh, it does.
All right. Well, let me make sure you
Yeah.
got your plugs
He's
going over.
getting it. He's getting
All right, he'll find that. You can go on Instagram and YouTube, by the way, at Carrot Top Live. Oh, I've never seen
Oh, you're
Black
gonna like
Gallagher.
this. You're gonna like this.
All right, here it is.
That's what I'm talking about. Osama bin Laden. Why don't they call him Osama bin Laden?
Come on, he's getting Gallagher.
That's so great.
Like my outfit, the queer guys came by and had an eye for me. Wilbur's orange stars. That leprechaun's on acid.
His teeth and his mannerisms. That's how Gallagher would do his walk.
He's crazy.
God, that's so
He's
funny.
crazy like me. Are you ready to smash some fruit?
Smash some fruit.
Can't hear you. Yeah. You want to smash some fruit? Yeah. The black cow here doesn't go out like no punk bitch with a mallet.
You go, Jesus.
Wow, he's shooting it. Alright, that's funny.
Gallagher doesn't do it. He says,
He shot the Black Gallagher's like the funniest. Alright, this is why we love Chappelle. That's totally insane. Also, it's the kind of thing you'd pitch, and the executives at Comedy Central go, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then two guys would be in the room like laughing their nutsack off. Celebrating 20 years at the Luxor this November. 40 years in show business. And now the world has come around, and they're in love with Carrot. They came around, and they're in love with Carrot Top. But don't stick around too long, because they'll turn.
It's coming. There's
They'll
another
turn
wave.
again.
There's another wave. Yeah, you get the little happy wave. We love you, and then no. When are you going away? You know?
No, I'll never say that.
No,
The great Scott Thompson, everybody. You can go down Kroll.com for all my live shows everywhere, and I'll come see you next time in Vegas. Hopefully.
Right on. Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
I'll see you in Vegas too.
Dude, I gotta sleep, man. What am I doing? Not sleeping. I mean, that's the light. Should even hit any of these. Like that there. You gotta chill it with the reflective light. Like, you go a little bit too hard on the reflective lights. Like, you gotta chillax. Chillax on the reflective light. That looks way better. Yeah, it looks way better. It's just, I don't want to guess anymore, you know? Always guessing, dude. I don't wanna guess in my drawings anymore. Okay, what do I draw next? What do I draw next? What do I draw next? What do I have problems drawing? New layer. I don't don't know why I keep drawing with this huge brush. Same old mistake, same old mistake. House cleaning tomorrow. Get my shit together tomorrow. Feel way better, so that's good. Oh. The stylus. I don't enjoy drawing with the stylus. I can't seem to draw the titties. Lack of a better word. messed up again. It's like, is it too big? Is it too unrealistic? It's in the right direction. I just can't seem to make it seem believable. I mean, I don't know, man. No, it's because you're drawing too much lines, dude. You gotta relax on the lines. Man, I swear to God. Just same mistakes over and over again. So why are you gonna get it right, dude? Should be around here. That should be around here. Let's draw the torso first. That doesn't even make sense. It looks so weird. Seems about right. All right, let's see where you're going with this. That's a huge. You could change it. I mean, I'm trying not to use erasers, but I just keep messing up, dude. You just keep messing up. Alright, so the hand. It's like right here, right? here. Should be around here. That's around there. Bones right here. Should be like this. Something like that. The thing is, you're making it too buff. That's why it looks weird. You don't have to draw every single muscle. Like, just makes it look even more weird. I mean, this definitely looks like it doesn't make sense. What is the issue? It's like, I don't know if, well, obviously it's coming together, so it should be in the middle right here. If that's the case, then it makes sense. I am too messed up today. If the chest is that big, then the hip has to be. No, that's not true. That's the rib. It's kind of like this. This is good enough. the hell are you drawing, dude? Like, you're drawing like Wonder Woman or something? I'm a bit sleepy. I'm sleepy. Does this even make sense? No. Huh, what's wrong with my webcam? Said it crashed. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Video capture device. Is it working or not? What is wrong with you? Does it even matter? Does it even matter? You're streaming into the void. Why would that matter? You know what's wrong with this? So, anatomy. Well, the upper part is way too big. What are you trying to draw? This webcam's just fucked up today. Well, seems to be working. I don't know what's wrong with it. Let's keep flipping to USB connected, to webcam, to USB connected. Huh, what is wrong with this? Preview. Doesn't work. It works then. Working now. Oh, still frozen. Just post my frozen face. That's weird. Whatever. Let's Being retarded, man. What's wrong with you, webcam? What's wrong with you? Oh, I should sleep, man. What am I doing? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Goodbye. Carrot Top, 30 years in comedy. Just watch this.
That's true. Oh my god, we just started civil war in the chat. We just burger. They got hamburgers, right? You can put ham.
Chicken burger?
Yes, it's a chicken burger.
Okay. Okay, hamburger, right? Okay. So burger coming from the term hamburger.
Right.
Hamburger steak. Shockingly not made of ham, but a patty of ground meat that is beef put into a sliced bun.
Here's the difference. It has to be hamburger. It has to be ground meat. It has to be a ground meat, ground up.
You can't ground up.
Not usually. You can do ground chicken, but you don't.
That's a ground chicken.
You don't do ground chicken at places like this because it can go bad.
No, it goes from hamburger steak.
It's a burger. Like Chad's like, it's a burger.
A chicken sandwich is when you put a piece of chicken.
It's ground meat. This is not ground meat.
Up.
Yeah.
Just chicken. This is just fried chicken on a bun. Chicken sandwich.
Was one of Steve's games.
Fuck you.
Not a burger.
Eat your damn chicken burger. Eat your chicken burger.
Fucking chicken.
It's a chicken burger, bro.
Injustice.
Bun is burger. Bun equals burger.
Justice.
One or two?
It's just one.
One.
Oh, fuck that game.
Fuck you.
Fuck that game, dude. No. Ah! That game was not good.
Why am I angry? Ah!
Dude, that game was like, few characters were fun to play.
There was like 7 characters that were fun to play.
There was a lot of fun characters.
There was a lot of fun characters that were fun to play. The problem is the online. But man, the game was just, it was probably,
Remember how fun it was when Scorpion first came out? If you didn't play Scorpion?
Well, it was a lot better when he got fixed, so.
Yeah.
He got nerfed into the
And it had a
ground.
fun
Yeah,
story.
he didn't get nerfed from the ground. He was still good.
No, Scorpion is the worst character in the game.
What?
Well,
The
because
heck?
his damage levels.
No, it's like he has no
And his
mix up.
speed.
He has no mix up. It's a knowledge check mix up.
Yeah, yeah.
Knowledge check. Yeah.
He's the worst character in the game. At the point at which they left it.
It's also fuck ugly. The art style was a little rough.
It is butt ugly.
The art style was a little rough.
Yeah. Like, it is. They made my top 10 ugliest games.
And they didn't really improve much in 2. Like, the characters were still kind of, like, rough.
No, 2 looked a lot better.
You really think so?
Look at it again.
I look at Supergirl, and when she does her super... They had to change the position because her face was fucking
Looked like young Hillary.
That was the first version of Injustice.
Yeah, and I was like...
It was butt ugly.
Yeah, it was rough.
But by the time it came out, they actually took that criticism to heart. It was good.
Yeah. I only defend it because of my experience in the game, having so much fucking fun playing the game. But I do understand it does have flaws, and it does have its issues. But I overlooked that because the game's fun factor trumped all of that. So at the end of the day, I put it on here for an honorable mention because it was one of the most fun.
It was one of the more fun fighting
interesting
games. It was one of the more fun fighting games of this era, but it's like maybe top 10.
Bro, come
not
on.
top 5.
How much fun did you have with Batgirl?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what my entire experience is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I mean. It's a top 10 PS3 fighting game, but not top 5.
Not top 5.
That's fighting game. But like the whole thing, no.
Oh, it's definitely not top 10.
Yeah.
We can take it off.
He's like boxing that thing.
It's 40 chicken nuggets.
Goddamn.
It's like, goddamn.
Where'd you get it?
I'm so hungry.
Injustice was a good call.
Damn.
I it was a great game.
It was a good game. It's fun. It's wild.
So then who was next? Kenny?
No, I could have won. You're both in there, Steve.
All right, Rob, I'll pick for you, Kenny.
No, what are you going to
Brown.
Ah, put it on there. I think it's a great game.
Paradise? Paradise is fine.
Paradise is an amazing racing game, but a mediocre burnout.
Paradise?
Oh man. What the fuck? It's a drop off from Revenge.
Yeah, sure.
I'm so hungry.
Here's one that,
Anybody out there
like,
in the
people will hate
world
us.
of YouTube live
People will
streaming
not like us
art?
for voting it out. But
Who's gonna say Last of Us? Who do we get rid of it now?
Anybody out there?
Why are you attacking without multiplayer? Why are you attacking it?
because, like,
None of us like it.
as a game, like story-wise, yeah, it's great and graphics, but like as a game,
It's a fucking experience.
like an experience with like throw
I
run
guess.
around,
Run to checkpoint.
run the
And Steve
checkpoint,
agreed
I
with
guess.
me.
and it's not even scary.
My
It's
life
like I
as an
wanted it to
artist
be-
emotional. It wasn't
ends
supposed to be scary.
soon.
These guys are so
Joel was grind, Kenny.
Just
And you know what? Simmons is right.
Sure,
I
sure.
don't know if
Last
I'm
of Us
improving
would
or
be top
not.
10 in almost 90% of PlayStation lists, but I'm like,
That's what makes us special. We're gonna shit on it because nobody shits on Last of Us.
no one shits on Last of Us.
We're gonna be special.
But I'm like, and everyone, I'm like, but as a game, I remember playing it, and I'm like, the story's good, but man, I'm playing it and I'm bored.
You know what? You said the same shit about Uncharted 2. You gonna say the same shit about Uncharted 2?
No, Uncharted 2
Uncharted
was
is next
great.
to
You were the one that constantly said, "Oh, all he does is jump around and he climbs on walls." And shit like that.
No. What I say is, he's like, whenever something bad is happening, he's climbing and the thing falls.
Mhm.
And then he goes to the next place and he's almost up and the thing falls. And there's like some scripted events that like happen over and over again. And Uncharted, I'm like, okay, I get
I
it.
think there's a lot of truth here, and I'm on both sides.
Yeah.
Steve made a very compelling, on his birthday, made a very good argument for Last of Us multiplayer being great.
Yeah, just want to say, the one thing he's forgetting is fucking multiplayer.
Now
This one doesn't have it.
He does. No, this one does.
What?
He has 5 that doesn't.
Yeah.
Mr. Hoops 8181. My heart goes out to you, man. Losing a father is like, I wouldn't know. That sucks so bad. But I know he believed in you, bro. He loved you. And you're gonna be strong, and you're gonna make him proud by succeeding. If you're already succeeding, you're gonna succeed even more. I don't know what else to say. You know, I'm an idiot, so it's sad. Life sucks. It's hard, man. Life's hard. Why does this arm bother me so much? I always mess up, dude. It's like, it's technically correct, but this side is messing me up. Why is this side messing you up? It's because the hand is misaligned, you freaking idiot. It's just the same mistake. It's supposed to be right here, dude. Now it looks a little bit better. Just the same mistake over and over again. It's like, when are you gonna get it right, man? It's just... Oh, I hate this feeling of the pen not working correctly. So I learned that there's like the muscle on the chest it attaches to the arm right here. Oh, I forgot already. God damn it. I don't know if it's this way or this way. I think this is right. It goes like right here. It's kind of that way. And this kind of overlaps that muscle. And this muscle's was attached to the chest and arm, like that. I think it's correct. Forget, man. Fuck. It goes like that, and then it starts to go like that. But this muscle attaches to the arm underneath the shoulder muscle. And I know that the trapezoid and then what do you call this? The clavicle? I forgot the bone. The shit that you see underneath your neck. If that's the case, this shouldn't be here. So go like this. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm dying. And this is the bicep right here. It's the triceps. I don't know what this is called. This is the brachial. I don't know what it's called. Something with the brachii something. Like this, and then there's another muscle that goes like this. And there's two muscles that goes like this with the thumb. And then there's another one. You won't be able to see it in this angle. There's one right here, and there's the bone right here, and obviously the fingers. These are the bone, the knuckle right here. I think there's like 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. No, it's like 5. I forget. This is the infraspinatus is connected to your armpit. This is a teres major. And there's another one. It's hardly able to see it. And right here again, you're connected to the armpit. That's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be like right here. This is the I don't know, I forgot what it's called. And from this scapula bone, there's muscles like this that attaches to it. I didn't know that. Figured out today, reading the Leonardo da Vinci anatomy book. And there's one that's attached to the rib. That's why you get this. I don't know how many there are. There's several. This is the muscle, the chest muscle, the pectoral. There's the bones, I guess. The center lines like right here, right? And the muscle, bone and the muscle. Depends on the body fat. This is the breasts. I'm not really. I don't make a convincing breast. It's like there's those anime girl artists draw really good breasts. And the muscle was like this. And this like two of them. Just like that. And this is the one that's connected to your finger. This. There's the rib. And there's the ab. 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess. Six pack, the 8 pack, right here. There's that muscle right here. This is the pelvis right here. Looks like that. It's a bone, the pelvic bone. Right here. From here, this is, I don't know what it's called again, but it's the longest muscle of the body. It just connects all to your tibia, which is basically your shin bone. And from here, I hate to say it, but this is a muscle going on like this, and there's another muscle going on like this, and there's one that you can't see right here. So I guess it goes like this all the way down. Here you get one right there. It's like there's like 2 here, I think. And then another one. I forget. There's like, I don't know how many. There's a shitload. But the most important one that's kind of showing us this one. Now, from here, there's a TFL muscle. Or is it TLF? I forget. Jesus Christ. And this runs to the side. It looks like a gun holster. It's right next to the serratorial muscle, whatever. From here goes the middle one, like this. And there's one right here. And there's one right there, a little bit higher than the one on the inside. And there's the knee. And there's the ligaments connected to the knee. I wish I... Is there one more? I don't remember, man. It's over here. This is the middle part. You won't see the one on the left side. So this will be like this. Yeah, dude. You got this, man. Pretty much memorized the whole thing. This is the traps connected to your back. In your back, the neck, the traps, the shoulder, the traps goes like this, all the way to your rib cage. And this is the here, I think. This is the triceps. The one on the inside is larger. The one on the outside is smaller. And here's the elbow. And this is the thing. Brekkie, whatever. The hand. Now, from here, I forgot the length. It should be around here. Like that. Yeah, it's like that. Well, let's just finish this. This is the infraspinatus scapula. That's the infraspinatus. There's the tiny muscle. I don't know what it's called. You could barely see it. And this is the teres major. And this is the spine. This is the pelvis, the backside. It's the tailbone. This is the ends. This is like this is where your thigh bone is at. This is just like, I don't know, it's like hollow, I think. I forget. It's not important. Now from here, goes like that, like that. These are the one that's connected to your armpit. Over here is pretty interesting. So, although the trap is one muscle, it's kind of separated here like this. So here's like a diamond right here. And then it goes like this. Like that. And over here, over the shoulders, the scapula, it's like that. What's the neck? That's another diamond. There's the neck. And this is the head. Ears. And this is, I don't know what it's called yet. Oh shit. Let this run all the way to your ass. Not ass, but the pelvic region. Over here, this is also separated in this manner. And there's another muscle that goes like this. You would think it's like this, but it's actually like this. If I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. Yeah. Pretty much memorized the whole thing, I think. It's pretty good. I just gotta freaking remember it. Oh man. Oh. Today was a weird day. Today was a weird day. Is anybody out there? Alright, I gotta get some sleep.